1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Where in the heck is this week gone? Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Yes, sir.
I wrote Wednesday. I was doing notes for a meeting earlier today, and I always, for whatever reason, put the date at the top, and I put that today was Wednesday. So I'm like, what? No, today is definitely not Wednesday. It's not. It's Thursday. We are flying. We're off on Monday.
Yeah.
Kinner's going on some vacay here coming up within the next week.
Will you be coming back is the question.
I mean, I'll be coming back. Hopefully I ain't bringing anything back with me. That's what I'm worried about. Going to the COVID capital of the world.
You better not be bringing that back to the great state of Ohio.
You don't care if I bring it back to Ohio. You just say don't bring it in the studio.
That's a fact.
So I get back from vacation, and then I get an extended vacation because I get to work from home for a couple of weeks.
Sweet dude.
I hate working from home. I really do.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
So back in March when this initially started, I remember I'm one of those where when things are going bad, I'm not I know that the bad things are happening, but I try to make the best of everything. So I'm like, you know what? Doing the show from home, that's going to be pretty cool. Doing sitting in your kitchen doing the show, you got the dogs running around. You know what I mean? I did the show out in the back patio one time, just kind of sitting outside. It was really cool. I enjoyed, but 2 weeks in, I was done. I was like, okay, I can't do this. You know what I mean? I just don't like, so, but the things you do for the people around you, I tell you. But hey, as the great philosopher Kirk Cousins once said, if I die, I die. So it's like, good Lord, man. Yeah. That's still making media hits all day today.
Absolutely. Working from home for me was super difficult. A lot of things that we do with radio, we have these great studios and everything like that, great microphones, production sounds A1, and then you get a USB mic from your local corner store, and you're doing all this production on your laptop, and you realize when you listen in your car for commercials and everything like that, the quality just isn't there. So when I would hear my voice on a commercial on something that I did at home, I would just cringe because I know it doesn't sound good. And I would end up coming back to the building to re-record it to make it sound better. And then eventually I started coming back to the building almost every single day because it was no point, because I can't hear myself sounding that bad producing quality like that, man. So for the most part, we're back in the studio. We got our nice little
plex. Don't hit it too hard.
Yeah, you don't want it to crack.
You don't need any holes. You don't need that airborne stuff. That is what it is. All right, happy Thursday again. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Plenty to get into here today. What's funny is I upset a couple Buckeye fans the other day because I had pointed out that I feel like no matter what the Big Ten does or says, that they are they say they want transparency. They say they want answers. The Big Ten releases the vote. People say it's a fake vote. You're lying. All right. So now Penn State, a doctor from Penn State has released information that went into the research for Penn State, talking about how the percent of players within the Big Ten that have that myocarditis, whatever. I always mispronounce it. Don't get out there. I'm not a doctor, so I don't care. But that there's a high percent of Big Ten players alone that have it, which justified their reasoning for, because remember everyone kept saying, where's your, share with us. What do you got? What do you got? Well, the Big Ten kind of let some of that leak today, and that's leading to a lot of conversation about, maybe the Big Ten, was on to something here. How about this? ESPN also released an article. ESPN was reaching out, was doing a story on outbreaks within campuses and outbreaks within university athletics departments. You know how many? A ton of SEC schools, they refused to disclose, and they don't have to. Again, I'm not mad, but again, if you don't have anything to hide, what are you hiding? Mm-hmm. They refuse to disclose any information regarding the success of their tests. We keep hearing, there's no positive tests, there's no this, there's no that. Well, you know what? It's kind of funny how they're refusing to provide any of that information. So when Big Ten fans are getting mad at the Big Ten for not being transparent, well, the SEC and them, they're doing the same thing. They're not providing the information that should. Those reports that came out over the weekend about Alabama potentially, hiding a lot of those results. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what the fallout from this, that it started with this ESPN report that they are trying to go around from campus to campus to get an idea for how they're handling positive tests. And look, they're sniffing around. That's what ESPN's. That's what every media outlet is doing right now. They're sniffing around, and those schools don't like it. So I found it pretty interesting as far as that's concerned and what they're hiding. So
if they are having success, doing everything on the up and up, they owe that to the public. They owe that to the world. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So if you are on the up and up and you got this secret to make this world better again, then you need to be sharing it, because obviously we need it. So from them hiding things and not letting this information out, that further lets me know that they're not on the up and up. They're basically lying to people every single day. Like, everything's cool. Don't worry about it. Play ball. Come on down. We're going to be at 20% capacity. Come buy your hot dogs. Come pay your $50 to park. Come to these restaurants in our town of Tuscaloosa that only has people in it on game days. Like, that's what they're doing. They're lying. Because if this was a true situation where they were actually saving lives and figured out a way to cope with COVID-19, it should be mandatory that they share it with the American population.
Well, because of, how vulnerable all these universities are to lawsuits. I mean, look, that's why, people are trying to sue and they want that information to use against them or use, whatever. So I understand why they're not doing it. I get it, right now, a moral obligation, but legally, no, they don't have that obligation to do so. And I get why they don't. It's just, again, it's not a good look. Schools that decline to provide athlete testing results to ESPN, nearly half of the Power Five will not disclose COVID-19 test data.
HIPAA laws, that's what they're hiding behind?
I mean, I wouldn't say it with sarcasm. I mean, I don't blame them. Look, everyone's trying to sue everyone for everything. I mean, yes, we would like to know, but at the same time, if you don't have to disclose information that is going to be used against you, why would you do that to yourself? I'm not saying it's okay, but I understand where they're coming from. We sit here and say we don't have the answers to this thing. Well, you're right. We don't have the answers to these things. And one thing that these universities and businesses don't have either is answers to the back end of this. Not, there's a vaccine, so it's all gone and then we don't have to worry about anything. Now it's one of those where, okay, well, what during all of this, what could people use against us throughout this process? We feel like we're doing the right thing by being very, open to everybody. But then we could end up having everything that we're disclosing be used against us 6, 7, 8 months from now. That's why you see those commercials all the time. If you tried this bread back in 2020, back in 2012, call because you could potentially have a lawsuit. And it's like, okay, well, that's what the Big Ten and all these conferences are doing. Not defending it, but it's not. I don't think it's that crazy that they're not just disclosing it. It's just morally they probably could, but legally, I see why they're not doing it. It's cover your ass.
Yeah, CYA for sure. How about black out all the players' names?
What?
Of the reports and saying what you're doing to cope with this. Because, everybody has the right to get back to a normal society. And if Alabama, LSU, name your SEC school or whatever school, Clemson, has the key, then we need to know.
The key to what?
The key that they're making this work. Apparently they're making it work. They're making COVID work for them.
I don't know about that. I mean, it could just be as simple as, outbreaks that are without their control. I'm surprised you're this strongly I just don't see the value.
You don't want to get back to normal?
Oh, no, heck no. I want to wake up every morning wondering if today's going to be the day that our company just says, all right, we can't afford to pay you guys anymore. Like, no, I would let you know. No, I want things to get back to normal, but I don't think that the SEC releasing test results is going to keep Justin Kinner employed in Dayton, Ohio. So it doesn't really bother me too much.
No, what I'm saying like they're presenting it to the people and to the public as if they got it figured out. Mm-hmm. We all know they don't have it figured out. But what I'm saying is if you do have it figured out, share with us how you figured it out. And apparently they don't because they won't share that information. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So many ways you can get involved with the show. 457-9464. That's the number to call in. We are live on Facebook. Ron makes it a habit that we can, no matter what he just Buccaneers, relax. We're gonna get to your Buccaneers. And Ron, you're a big hypocrite. Because you're excited because your team got talent. But last I checked, Buccaneers are still a pretty embarrassing organization too. They haven't proved anything. Oh, they got players, Ron. That you told me that didn't matter last year. You told me that didn't matter when the Browns did, but the Buccaneers get players, and we're supposed to just believe that it's all going to work. Ron, tisk. We're going to get into your team. Don't worry, Ron. Just relax. Hey, how about we open up with something we normally don't talk a lot about?
What's up?
Politics. So Donald Trump. No, I'm joking. The NBA. The NBA a little bit. And don't worry, we're not going to talk. the political side of the NBA. We're actually going to talk about last night's NBA games. I know people don't really care. There's not a lot of Heat fans or Bucks fans or Thunder Rockets. But last night, the theme of the night was bad officiating.
Oh, boy.
And it amazes me. Like, I love that people get so fired up about officiating. There's games where I've been ticked off about officiating, but at the same time, we want to talk about it's part of the game. Kev, you say all the time, injuries are part of the game.
Absolutely.
Well, officiating, good or bad, is part of the game.
Absolutely.
But I've always asked this question. Have you ever left a game and said, man, how about that? I mean, both teams scored a lot of points, good hard-hitting defense. If it's a football game, basketball, man, just great, entertaining game. How about that officiating, huh? I mean, I'm going to buy an officiating jersey for next game because those guys are the best. Officiating is never good in the eyes of anybody. I think officiating is as bad at the end of games as the beginning of games, except the end of games, things are magnified more because we think that, like last night's call cost the Bucks the game. Maybe. We can go back and look at certain turnovers throughout the fourth quarter in crunch time. I mean, I know I'm opening this up a little bit, but I'm just saying officiating to me doesn't get worse as the game goes on. The urgency of calls becomes greater as the game goes on. That's why I remember back during the Fiesta Bowl when people were so angry and saying, man, these games are called so bad. There are bad calls in every game. If that call against Ohio State happens in the first quarter on a 0-0 tie, we're not sitting there saying that the Buckeyes got screwed over and that they lost the game because of officiating, but because it happened later in the game, which somehow still doesn't get, 19-0 run by Clemson. I mean, you let Trevor Lawrence rush for 100 yards on you.
Stay on subject,
but yes,
man.
it's
Stay on
officiating. I mean, come on, whatever. But my point is that I'm just never one of those that believes that officiating is a perfect art. Like there is no such thing as good officiating. There is such thing as officiating, oh man, they got lucky because it didn't, there wasn't a big call at the end of the game that, could be looked at as costing a team a game. I wasn't angry. You were pissed last night. You were texting me about the game, horrible call. I'm like, it's, I just didn't have an emotional reaction to it. I still thought it was a good finish. That officiating adds to the excitement of a game. Let's be clear, that Fiesta Bowl, that game will always be talked about. Unfortunately, it wasn't a result that we wanted for Ohio State, but we're always going to remember the officiating in that game. It adds to the game. Like it adds to what you remember about it. So the same thing last night. I don't think officiating costs teams games. Teams can make mistakes for 4 quarters, but an official makes one mistake at the end of the game, and it's the official that costs a team a game. How about if you are, and by the way, I've never played any high-level basketball. I'm 5'5" and round, okay? So it's not like I'm going to be able to sit here and speak on a sport and act like I know it all. But let's be clear, kids as far as 5 to 6 years old are taught in basketball how to do a defensive approach. And I promise you, there's not a single coach out there, coaches of 5-year-olds all the way to the NBA, that will teach Giannis Antetokounmpo to leap out of the damn gym to contest a shot. That's on you. You leave your feet, you're unbalanced. That's just bad basketball. That's on him. You're 7 foot. Why are you trying to jump out of the gym to contest a shot? So that's where I'm at with this as far as that's concerned. The officiating wasn't great, but I'm never one of those that ever says officiating costs teams games, because it's up to we hear the players got to go win the games. The execution of the teams, to me, is what wins and loses games. The officiating, as you always say, just like injuries, it's a part of it. You got to adapt. And unfortunately, there was no time left for either team to adapt as far as that's concerned last night. 2 really good games. Officials, though, were the main narrative for both.
Whew. This is why I love the NBA. This current situation with the NBA being in the bubble and having games on every single night, there's no rest. You're back at it. Like Denver, they just won their game 7. Normally they would have 2 days off and then play a game. Nope. Hey, you get off day, right back at it. So it feels like the NCAA tournament for one, because there's games on all day and it's constantly moving. As for last night, when I was texting you, as I'm watching the game, I'm watching Jimmy Butler make one of the worst passes I've ever seen in my life. Like, yo, you got a timeout, call a timeout. So he turns the ball over, they score. Then they, what happened? They missed the shot. They foul on the 3-point play by Middleton. That wasn't a foul, where Dragic had his hands straight up in the air. They called a foul because he fell to the ground. Horrible call. That was the first time I texted. Was like, whoa, that's a terrible call. He knocks all 3 free throws down. Then the same official calls a foul on Jimmy Bucket's step back 3, where Giannis closing out on him, where he didn't touch him either. And that's what I'm just saying. Like, that's a makeup call because you know in your heart of hearts that other play wasn't a foul. And you make up for it by calling a foul down there. That's what I have a problem with. Like, yo, that's a plain and simple makeup call. Yes, the human element of sports is on all three sides. It's on the opponent's side, both for the opponent's side, and you have humans making judgment calls. So you have to adapt and you have to deal with it. My only argument to that is we put these athletes and coaches and general managers, the spotlight is on them. Because best believe if the Rockets would have lost, the heat would have been on Russ. The heat would have been on Westbrook. It would have been on Harden. It would have been on D'Antonio if they'd have lost. We don't ever hear from the officials when they make horrible calls. When a player makes a turnover, when a player misses a free throw at the end of the game, they always got to explain themselves. LeBron, if he misses a game-winning shot, LeBron, what happened? You missed a shot. Well, what about the 50 other ones I hit in my career? I missed this one. Sorry. But an official, they just sign their name on the line after the game report, and they go off. And then you get the league report the day later. Oh, it looks like it was a bad call. Sorry. No, that ref needs the answer for this horrible call and then the makeup call.
But have you ever reffed a game?
Unfortunately, I have, and it is one of the hardest things on the planet.
I've reffed one game. It was flag football, and I was like, I told my boss when I was working in Van Wert, I'm like, I don't want to. I mean, I don't really want to do it. She goes, oh, come on, they're young. Who cares? That's worse. Parents of little kids. I mean, you would have thought it was an NFL game, and it kind of was. It was the Jets and the Broncos. It was flag football, local flag football. And it was the Jets and the Broncos. It was the biggest 12-year-old flag football game in the history of the world, apparently. And I blew the whistle. I saw the kid grab the flag, and I saw him jerk the flag, and I thought that the flag was pulled, so I blew the whistle, blew it dead. Never pulled the flag. The kid had a touchdown. I ruined it or whatever. But like the point is, like I hate officiating. It's so damn hard. But you are positive when you are making a call. And again, I'm not using flag football as an example to defend referees. However, anyone that has reffed even the smallest of little tiny stupid things like I did for flag football. Every time the whistle blows, you are blowing it, thinking that you are making the right call, and then like you are having to make an instant reaction. So. And by the way, when officials start making millions and millions and millions of dollars, then we can hear from them afterwards. But let's be clear. With the officials, I would have a problem with, you're not going to put a mic in my face after every game because the only time you're going to talk to me is when things are bad. Like we talked to LeBron. Hey, LeBron, you're awesome, man. Tonight, 50 points, good for you. The next night, hey, you missed the free throw in crunch time. What the hell? Yeah, like we talked to LeBron no matter what, but the officials, the only time you would put them up and on the stand is whenever they're in trouble for something.
That's fair.
So that's why I'm like, I see both sides, so they need to answer for it. But let's be clear, Kev. Let's say they answered for it. Does it change the outcome of the game? What does it do for you? That's what I've been preaching and yelling about all these annoying Big Ten Buckeye fans because, we want answers. We want answers. We want clarity. Big Ten, tell us why you did this. Well, the president's voted 11 to 3. Oh, no, that's a fake vote. Oh, well, here, this microcarditis, whatever the hell it is. Here's a new report to justify why we did it. Oh, that's just one. That's just one doctor. That's just one doctor. Who cares about that one doctor? I need a doctor that's going to tell me what I want to hear. I need reports that tell me what I want to hear. That's the thing. That's what we do with officials. No matter, even if the official said, oh, my bad. The one player blocked my vision and it looked to appear that he made contact and he actually didn't. My bad. I shouldn't have made that call. You know what the next thing we're going to say is? So now what? What are you going to do about it? Like, we're not going to accept an apology from an official. So I just don't see the point in that as far as that's concerned. But here's Jay Williams again, our morning show from 6 to 10 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Jay Williams, of course, had a lot to say about last night's officiating with that game. Here's Jay Williams.
I watch game sevens for big plays to be made by clutch players. I do not watch game sevens for referees to determine the outcome of the game. Like, I just don't. And I'm going to put their names out there. Sean Wright, Mark Davis, Kevin Scott.
Davis is a rep, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, and this is a good referee crew. But like what I saw, first off, Miami tried to give the game away, right? So I felt like on the first one with Goran Dragic, you don't call that. You don't give Chris Middleton 3 shots to tie the game. And then you follow that up with a touch on the stomach, a rub on Giannis, which felt like a makeup call for the first messed up call. that then allows Miami to win the game off 2 free throws with nobody on the free throw line. I didn't come there as a fan to watch the game end like that.
Look, and that's my favorite. Oh, I didn't come here to watch the official. But if, again, like, we're going to sit here, why don't we just say, players, if you play fundamentally sound defense, you don't foul. That's why in practices, they spend so much time on closeout drills, chopping your feet, coming out with the high hand and low defensive position.
To your point.
So it's like,
Dragic did that. Mm-hmm. And they called a foul on him.
And referees aren't perfect. That's my whole thing, though. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to make but they make bad calls in the first quarter. The only reason we're mad is because this call that could have happened in the first quarter happened in the fourth quarter. So that's why I get frustrated with that. Like, officiating is the same from beginning to end. It's just the calls become magnified as we get closer to the end of the game. There's no such, like David on here says that there is such thing as let me find it. Hold on. He goes, David again, we're live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Tune in, comment in the chat section. We'll be able to interact with you that way. David Shaw says, no, there is a thing called good officiating. When a game happens and you don't have anything to say about the officiating, that's called good officiating. No, that's called you're a fan of the winning team, probably. That is not called an example of good officiating, because I promise you this, Clemson in that game against Ohio State, do you think that they spent their entire sports media landscape the next day talking about how bad the officiating was? The only people who think officiating is bad is the losing team, period. The officiating is bad on both sides, but we're only talking about the only people that are mad today are the fans of the team that lost. That bad officiating is part of the game. It's just like bad players taking good players taking bad shots, good officiating making bad calls. There is no such thing as a perfectly officiated game, period.
Was it a foul? Was Dragic a foul?
No. But the Giannis one at the end, he's an idiot. That's on him. Now, I will say I hate that rule. That ball was released. Jimmy Butler was falling down. I don't even care if on the way down, if Giannis shoved him, that had no outcome on the result of the shot. Like, if you can get a shot off and that ball's out of your hand and then you're hit, that has nothing. The ball is out of your hand. I've never been a fan of that. However, you are taught defense.
What about the follow through? You talking about the follow through?
What?
Like, Jimmy shoots it.
So Jimmy shot it.
Right.
And then that's when Giannis went out like an idiot, like didn't close out. I mean, you're 7 foot tall. Kinner has to jump out of the gym just so I can put my hand where a normal person's head would be. Okay, Giannis could put his hand up and he's 9 foot tall. Why are you leaving the floor? Why are you leaving the floor? Like, that's
okay. I'm watching it.
You know what I mean? Like,
so as Jimmy's landing, it's almost like Giannis is almost trying to catch him.
He's like out of control. Like, and again, he's trying to, you're trying to send 2 bodies at him. You want to contest it, but there's a fundamental way to approach a closeout. And again, I'm sounding like
James Harden did last night.
And, he didn't have, that's what.
How about that?
Let's go back to the top. By the way, Mike on Facebook says, proof that 2020 will be the end of mankind. We are talking about James Harden and his excellent defense last night.
What a closeout. What a perfect closeout, dude.
So there's that. But yeah. And then David says, no, Greek Freak did touch him. It was a foul. I'm agreeing with you. I guess I don't like the rule. I agree it was a foul based on the rule. I think the rule is stupid. I think when you shoot and the ball is out of your hand, I don't care if a plane comes through and runs you over. If the ball is out of your hand, you getting run over by a car, I should have used car instead of plane. I don't care if a car runs you over after you release the shot. Anything that happens the second that ball leaves your fingertip, nothing that they do to you impacts that shot. Period. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. However, that was mainly done too because, coming down on someone's foot. I always, when someone would go up for a shot, I would go a little closer on the closeout, put your foot underneath, play dirty. Can't play with them, hurt them.
Duly noted. Yeah. Never hoop with Kinner. Got that.
Nah, Kinner don't hoop no more.
Take out my ankles.
Kinner. Dave said that was to you. So there's that. But real quick, here's Tim Legler, by the way. ESPN's Tim Legler commenting on that foul late, again, in the Heat Bucks game.
The first time I saw the replay on the Dragic one, I thought I could see where they were coming from in the foul call. The more I watched that, no, I don't like that call. I really don't. The Butler one, look, if you make contact with a shooter in the air, you're subjecting yourself to interpretation of the official. So I really can't hammer a ref for calling that. His left hand clearly touched him in the torso. I don't think it affected the shot in any way, and I know people don't want to see a game end like that. I get that. But if a guy's in the air and you touch him, you can call that a foul, and it's hard to argue with it.
Right. And again, that was ESPN's Tim Legler talking about that too. And that's the other thing too. I mean, a lot of times, by the way, officials do scouting reports on teams and players. They know what they're looking for. They are, sometimes you might wonder, man, that was a weird whistle. Let's be clear. Okay, I'm defending officials today. Okay, shocker. Kinner taking the opposite side here. But let's be clear. Officials, they watch film on the teams that they're about to call games for because they look for tendencies. So what might be a foul, it's like, oh, that's a foul at the other end, but not down here. Possibly because that's more of a foul on a player who has tendencies to be a little too aggressive on a closeout or too aggressive coming off a screen. If you go top man, second man, if you go underneath, officials look for all those things in basketball, Kev. So I do think that players have a responsibility to also, just like in baseball, okay? Baseball, let's be clear. The scouting report in baseball, every time that a player is, stepping foot out on to the field, they have been already instructed, hey, by the way, here's how this umpire likes to call games. He likes to call them low. Sometimes he's a little favorable down low. Like, trust me, the players should know the officials as well as the officials know the players. So I think that, I like that point that Tim Legler said about, hey, you got to, you're going to make yourself vulnerable to the official having to make the interpretation of what's going on. But fundamental basketball at the end, we're not talking about that type of, closeout. I don't get it. I mean, you're Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're 7 feet plus tall. You put your hand up. You're probably 9 to 10 feet tall. Why are you leaving the floor and jumping out of the gym like Superman trying to contest his shot? And you could say, well, he's trying to block it. I mean, yeah, maybe. But again, you weren't that close. You were coming from an angle. I don't like it. I don't have a problem with it.
I think ultimately the right team won because I think everybody is saying the Dragic was a horrible call. So ultimately, that bailout call gave the Heat the win. And I mean, you hate it for the end like that, but ultimately, I think the right team won because that foul on Dragic was just horrible. But the NBA, I love it. I'm here for it. More of it tonight. Can't wait.
Doug Morgan on Facebook says it's still a foul, Justin, just not a shooting foul. And I'm fine with that. But again, you still put Jimmy Butler's ass at the free throw line late in that game. So that's where I'm talking about that. My point, I just don't like those, what's interpreted as a shooting foul. If you're going up to shoot and you hit the elbow or you hit the arm or the shoulder or the legs before that ball's out of his hand, that's an easy one. But what drove me nuts about it, I just hate that rule. The ball's out of your hand. You still want to call a foul because you made contact or whatever, fine. But to call that a shooting foul is not a shooting foul. That's called an after shooting foul. How about that?
They were in the bonus anyway, so they got 2 shots anyway.
Well, don't care. Giannis is stupid. That's even more. Then when you're in the bonus like that, you're even more cautious defensively. Don't foul. I mean, any level of basketball, you will hear a coach on the side. Don't foul. What's he do? I'm going to leave the freaking floor and try to jump out of the gym. I'm going to jump out of Disney World over here just to try and contest the shot. Give me a break. All right, 457-9464. That's the number to call in. Facebook Live, the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We're live on Facebook and ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Head there now and jump in on the comments section. We'll get to some NBA news when we come back. Steve Nash, now back in the NBA. Who's he playing for? Nobody. He's coaching. No coaching experience. Steve Nash, again, was the topic of all conversation throughout the day. We have some audio from Stephen A. Smith, who's not really a big fan of the process of what led to Steve Nash being hired in Brooklyn. We'll get to that coming up around the corner. How about the Reds? The Reds look like a real baseball team last night. We don't have to worry about them tonight. We'll get into that around the corner. Talk some NFL. And yes, Ron, we'll get into your Buccaneers signing Leonard Fournette in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of showers down to a low of 59. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a high of 76. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
Hey, it's Justin Kinner from the Justin Kinner Show, and I wanted to take some time to tell you about my great experiences with CertaPro Painters. That's right, my experiences, as in more than one. I've had CertaPro Painters complete quite a few painting projects for me over the years, and every time they knock it out of the park, whether it was the Ohio State-themed office with the Buckeye stripe wrapped around the room, or when they painted my entire house before move-in day, I could not believe that they knocked out our entire house in just one day. CertaPro Painters knows how to get the job done right and and most importantly, safely during these times. They deliver what they promise. They show up on time, they get the job done right and on budget. Whether it is residential or commercial, interior or exterior, CertaPro Painters will take care of you from the first initial free estimate all the way up to the final brush of paint on your project. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business that you can support. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks, and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com, where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great night out with friends. Looking for something to do this fall? It's not too late to join a fun fall league, adult, youth, or mixed. Polking Bowling Centers has a fun program just for you, providing a safe and sanitized bowling environment. Visit polkingbowling.com or Facebook for the list of fall programs. Let the good times roll at Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue, Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kingsridge Drive.
Endless loads of laundry? Lowe's has just what you need to bring reliability to your laundry room. A Maytag front load laundry pair in an exclusive metallic slate finish. It features the most powerful cleaning in the industry, driven by a heavy-duty cycle with extra power button. Shop Labor Day deals on Lowe's.com today and get up to 35% off select appliances like this Maytag laundry pair and more. Bring on style this Labor Day with Lowe's. Offer valid through 9/16, U.S. only.
Public speaking, getting stranded at sea, gas station bathrooms, venomous snakes, paying too much for a bed that isn't right for you. These are the most common fears in America. That's why Mattress Firm came up with the Rest Assured Promise. So you'll find the right bed at the right price, guaranteed. And during our Labor Day sale, save up to 50% on America's best-selling brands like Sealy and more. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations and only while supplies last. Some products only available online. Visit mattressfirm.com for details.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details. Third floor study hall. My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything you need, from lap desks to computers, desk chairs to UV sanitizers. This week at Staples, a 2-pack of Elmer's glue sticks, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons, and comp books are just 50 cents each. Shop in-store, pick up curbside, or order online. School on, save on. Staples. Ends 9/5 while supplies last. Limit 30. Limits vary online. Curbside available in most stores.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens, and all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
Reds fans, don't miss the Justin Kinner Show, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. You'll get the latest Reds news, headlines, lineups, player features, and recaps. Don't miss a game or a show on Dayton's home of the Reds, ESPN 1410, Wing AM. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Thursday. Yes, already Thursday. We already have to start talking about our Week 2 high school football matchup tomorrow. It's going to feature the Springfield Wildcats at the Centerville Elks. Kickoff at 7 p.m. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself, we will have the call. 2 1-0 teams 1 week into the season and 2 of the top quarterbacks in the G-Walk. We're excited for this matchup tomorrow night. Again, Keith Byers and myself, 7 o'clock the kickoff. We'll be on the call right here on 1410 ESPN Radio for our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Kettering Health Network, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. And for those watching live on Facebook, take a look at the schedule here for what we have coming up for you. We have quite a few Centerville and Fairmont games for the season, just trying to keep us in close proximity. We're very fortunate that both teams are 2 of the top teams in the conference, so we are excited about that. We got to see a very, very good game in Week 1. Centerville at Fairmont, 21-20 the final. Expecting another good one tomorrow night with the Wildcats and the Elks. But then you got Wayne at Centerville again next week, and then we'll have Miamisburg and Fairmont. We'll have Wayne a couple weeks from now as well, Centerville and Miamisburg to close out the season. I'm glad there is I hate that it's only 6 weeks as far as the regular season, but I'm just glad that we even have any high school football to be calling on the station this season. And man, what a conference. And I tell you what, to go from 20 teams, the mega conference from a few years ago. And now, by the way, David says Springfield 24, Centerville 10. David, was that your pick yesterday? Or I know you picked Springfield, but was that your score yesterday? You keep changing. You change your scores like I change teams, man. Aye. Browns, Cowboys, baby. It's a big year coming up.
Oh, that's right. We got the Kenner Bowl this year.
The Kenner Bowl. Is that still on? Did the schedule change?
This is a go. It's a go.
The Kenner Bowl.
So who are you picking in that matchup? Because
I'm not picking anybody in that matchup.
No, because
they are picking me. They're fighting for Kenner.
No, because you have the Browns going 12-4, and you have them losing Week 1 to the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So they still got to get 12 wins somewhere.
You go with the better quarterback. So I guess the Browns are beating the Cowboys.
Stop it.
I'm not going to stop it.
Stop it.
The Cowboys thought so much of Dak that they decided to pay linebackers and everyone else before they even decided not to get salary cap league. But the quarterback's your first priority when they're good.
Salary cap league. You got to pay somebody. Somebody got to get the short end of the stick.
The quarterback never. The good quarterbacks never get the short end of the stick ever.
And shoot, he winning. You got him with the franchise tag. Gonna get the franchise tag probably again next year. Eventually, he gonna cash
Alex
out.
Smith was winning games too, and look how that turned out. When he
wasn't getting the franchise tag
when
though.
you upgrade your quarterback. I mean, Alex Smith though, you were winning games with him. You could argue, well, why do you need to go to Patrick Mahomes? You're winning plenty of games with Alex Smith. It's called talent. Yes, we're winning games with them, but again, you upgrade your talent. And look, I think the Chiefs made the right decision. And hopefully there's a Patrick Mahomes-esque guy out there that the Cowboys could end up with. I doubt it, but, there's
they did upgrade. They upgraded over Tony Romo.
No, God, no. Oh, no. I'll take Tony Romo when healthy over Dak anyway.
Then why did he win the job back?
Huh?
Then why didn't
he got injured again?
Back?
He never came back that next year.
He couldn't win it back? He was so good, right?
He's doing the thing he should be doing now. Calling games.
He's getting paid. I salute him.
He couldn't stay healthy.
Salute him. He's great at that too. He's great at golf. Tony Romo is great at golf, great at basketball, great at announcing games, good at football.
Okay. You're not getting me today. All right, we'll stay in the world of the end. We're going to get into some NFL stuff here in a moment because and by the way, Shaw says Browns will go 8-8. 8-8. We're going to get next week. We get to do our predictions. We're going to have our pick'em debuting next week. So we got a lot that we're uncovering here in the coming days. But man, I'm excited for that. But finally, talking Browns and Bengals football. Unless something weird happens in the next 10 days, the NFL's kicking off on time. And I've been saying from the beginning, I have no doubt that they were going to do that because the NFL, there was no chance in hell that they were going to let Major League Soccer, that they were going to let hockey, that they were going to let basketball and baseball, the circus that baseball actually is right now. There was no way that the NFL and Roger Goodell, the egos that they have, and again, they are looked up to by everybody else. There was no way that every other sport was going to be able to pull this off and not them. So it is interesting as far as that is concerned. But we'll get into some NFL stuff around the corner. The Buccaneers land Leonard Fournette. What does that mean for Tom Brady? We'll get to that coming up in just a few. So big news out of the NBA today. Steve Nash. I'm officially at the age, Kevin, where the players that I grew up watching and admiring and looking up to are officially not just retiring. I think like the last of my high school youth retired with Vince Carter. So Vince Carter, with him being out of the game, like that's it. Like that was, the core. I mean, I watched basketball in the 90s, but as far as like, me in high school, like the years I really was in love with the game, it was Kobe, it was Shaquille O'Neal, you had your T-Mac, Allen Iversons, Vince Carters, Jason Kidds, Steve Nashes, and whatnot, and now they're head coaches in the league. It's weird to me that I'm at the age now where I'm waking up and man, like Steve Nash, I remember, those Suns teams were unbelievable. The best teams that just can never, one of the best teams that can never figure it out as far as that's concerned. But Steve Nash today was named the head coach for the Nets. Now he will have the opportunity to coach Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant when they make the return next year. Again, if you're watching live on Facebook, Steve Nash, take a look at some of his on the floor resume. Third all time in NBA history in assists, 2-time NBA MVP, 8-time NBA All-Star, 2-time NBA champion as Warriors consultant. Whatever that means. He never won one as a player, but he was also inducted into the Hall of Fame back in 2018. Now, for those of you watching on Facebook, that's his on the floor resume. Take a look at his coaching resume. Where'd it go? Oh, crap. Damn it.
Computer froze?
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, there is no resume for Steve Nash as far as coaching is concerned. And I'm not a fan. Like, I've made these arguments in the past. Like, I think this past decade has killed the importance of coaching in the NBA for this reason right here. How many first-year head coaches did we see coach an NBA Finals? Now, I was wrong about Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra was in his second season when LeBron, I thought that was his first year. But either way, so you had Eric Spoelstra who, goes to the NBA Finals, whatever, in his second season. But we saw for how many straight years did first-year head coaches get to the finals? You had Steve Kerr and David Blatt in the very. So you had two first-time head coaches, two first-year head coaches meet in the NBA Finals. Steve Kerr, Dave Blatt, and then the very next year, Tyronn Lue
won it.
First-year head coach. LeBron was the coach. Ty Lue was he took the title. No, Ty Lue, no, not going there. But Ty Lue, first-year head coach, gets there and wins one. Yes. Steve Kerr, his first 4 years, wins 3 titles in the first 4 or 5 years of his stint with the Warriors. We see so many first-year head coaches have instant success, and is it because of their coaching ability? Or is it because they're, in the era, in this past decade of super teams, you see these coaches come in and take over super teams and off they go. I mean, is Steve Kerr a better coach than Jason Kidd? Jason Kidd took over a Milwaukee Bucks team that was full of youth, and he doesn't look like a good coach. But Steve Kerr takes over a roster that Mark Jackson did a very good job with as far as developing Klay Thompson and developing Steph Curry and those guys and Draymond. And then Steve Kerr comes in when they're in their prime and when they all break out at the same time. And by the way, I don't think there's horrible coaches amongst these players. I think there's a pattern here when you start looking at point guards. Point guards are like, I'm surprised you don't see more quarterbacks as head coaches in the NFL, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Ask the Cowboys how
you do see quarterbacks is normally backup quarterbacks though.
Yeah.
And backup quarterbacks make great head coaches. I don't think starting NFL quarterbacks want to coach. I think they like one, they made a whole lot of money, and two, they could make a whole more lot money by calling games on whatever network. Like, we got so many backup quarterbacks. You got Frank Wright's head coach. Peterson's a former backup.
Jason Garrett was technically a starter, but he was more backup for more of his career than a starter.
So a couple of them out there, but continue.
No. But it's weird, though. You would think, but to your point, you would think that quarterbacks would be better head coaches in the NFL than what they are. But to your point, when you're a star, elite quarterback, usually the money's elsewhere with your endorsements. So you don't need to coach to make your money. No one's trying to get, Jason Garrett to sponsor some kind of foot odor cream or whatever the hell else these guys are promoting out there. But the point is that this past decade, I've been because Schlummer and I, we did a topic one time of which sport does the coach mean the least? Baseball and managers, NBA and coaches, football and NFL coaches. And I was quick to throw baseball under the bus and say managers, but then after I started looking at this past decade, I'm like, well, NBA coaches. I mean, it's just plug and play, and you're winning titles, and you're getting to the championship game. David Blatt, Ty Lue, Steve Kerr, but you see a lot of first-year head coaches. The difference, though, is Dave Blatt takes over a big three team with Cleveland. Ty Lue gets that big three team with Cleveland. Steve Kerr takes over a team that won 70 games or whatever with the Warriors, or he led them to win 70 plus games. So it's like, is Jason Kidd a worse coach than those guys? Is Mark Jackson a worse coach than those guys? We don't know, but we're putting these guys on pedestals because, Ty Lue won an NBA championship with LeBron. Well, I mean, can you argue that any coach would have won a championship with LeBron that year? Like Ty Lue, what I think Ty Lue did was he knows his stuff. I'm never going to argue that these guys don't know their stuff. They know more about basketball than what I'll forget in a minute. Like, it's insane, like how much they know. So I'm not knocking that Ty Lue doesn't know, but the shift in what you need to do as an NBA coach has shifted. You're no longer coaching, you are managing. Like, we call managers, or we call coaches in baseball managers. We really need to start calling NBA coaches managers, because you're no longer really like Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Jerry Sloan. I'm trying to think of those guys from the 90s that I really want, like, and early to Greg Popovich. Those guys are coaches. Like, the players looked at that. I love that documentary on Michael Jordan, because what I loved about MJ the most is everyone should have been bowing down to MJ's feet. Phil Jackson should have been, Michael should have been sitting there with the clipboard drawing up plays. And he was as invested in those huddles as Steve Kerr and anyone else next to him. That's what I will respect about MJ more than LeBron and every player in today, because every player today thinks that they own the team, that the coach needs to do what I want. Ty Lue, he is perfect for this era's basketball because he didn't coach the team. He managed the team. He managed the ego of LeBron. He managed the ego of Kyrie. And of course, and we saw how difficult that could be. Kyrie, they moved on. Steve Kerr, especially, I don't know how much he got challenged up front, because Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, it was fun because everyone was coming out together. No one really had that ego yet. But man, do you think he coached that team with Kevin Durant, or did he manage it? And boy, did he have to manage it. The behind-the-scenes drama between Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. You're managers. And David Blatt, by the way, the reason he got fired, it's not because he's a bad coach. The guy knows his stuff. He's a hell of a coach. He's had so much success overseas. But he's used to coaching where he comes from. He came over here thinking that he can tell LeBron to get his ass on the line and run a suicide or run a sprint. No. You can't do that. He couldn't manage the personalities and the egos. Back then, you can coach. You can't coach in today's NBA anymore. And I think that's like Eric Spoelstra, same thing. You think he was coaching, and he is a very good coach. I've kind of changed on him. But again, you weren't telling LeBron what to do. You were managing LeBron. You know what LeBron wanted to do, and you drew up plays around what LeBron wanted. And it may sound like I'm ripping that, but that's today's game. You got to adapt to today's game. The coaches have done that. That's why I put less value in who the coaches are in today's game than back then. Like, Phil Jackson couldn't win in today's game.
Oh, I think he could.
The way he talks down about players, he already pissed off half the NBA when he used the term posse about LeBron and his guys a while back. Like, I just think that those guys think different. LeBron, and by the way, I disagree with you. Pat Riley couldn't even, again, the term owner it has a weird connotation in today, but he couldn't even own LeBron. I hate using that. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. He couldn't even be an owner of a team with LeBron because his ego wouldn't kiss LeBron's ass. Pat Riley would not kiss his ass in the 80s or 90s, and he wasn't going to kiss his ass in the 2000s. That's what led to ultimately LeBron bolting. It was as simple as LeBron wanted parking spots for his friends at the game, and Pat Riley said no. if LeBron wanted parking spots for his friends in Cleveland, I guarantee you, even if they didn't have any, they would go create some. Like, that's, I guess, my point is these aren't coaches anymore. They're managers. And that's where
I think the Phil Jackson one started. He started that management style when he got to the Lakers, dealing with the Kobe and Shaq situation. Like, so I think that Phil Jackson could do it today. But I think you're right. It is about managing the egos. These guys have egos, and you talk about coaches having egos. If there's any coach out there to have an ego, it's Pat Riley. Like, he's done so much in his basketball career. So I think he has every right to be telling, his players that are on the Miami Heat, nobody's greater than the sum of the parts, the whole. Like, if I give you and you can have a parking spot, yes. But if I give 5 of your business partners parking spots, that means I got to give 5 to D Wade's business partners, and then I'm gonna hear from Chris Bosh, and then I'm gonna hear from Udonis Haslem. It's just gonna go down the line. So we're gonna make this short and sweet. No, because I don't want to deal with it. I want to deal with trying to win championships. As far as Steve Nash, I'm very interested to see how it works. I know that in the NBA, players have the power a lot of the times, especially star players. They have a lot of clout, and they flex that clout. You don't sign a Steve Nash to be your head coach without a Kyrie Irving and a Kevin Durant signing off on it. So I know there's a big uproar about what about Mark Jackson. My question to everybody says that every single time another head coach is hired instead of Mark Jackson, does Mark Jackson want to be a head coach? Because we never hear Mark Jackson say, I want to be a head coach, or his name floating around in rumors. It's only when a coach gets fired, well, what about him? You don't ever hear the Chris Broussards, the guys that leak news, or Wojnarowski, those type of guys leak the news that Mark Jackson is interested in this job, or he's interviewed for this job. You never hear that. You only hear from the talking heads say, well, why isn't Mark Jackson getting the job? So that one, I don't know if Mark Jackson really wants to be a coach in the NBA again. You look at, I thought that Lou was going to get the gig. I thought Tyronn Lue was going to get that gig, but obviously not.
And David Shaw says LeBron left Miami because he wanted to win a championship in Cleveland. He wanted to go home. I'm not saying he didn't want to go home, but if you read Pat Riley's book, if you read who's the big reporter on ESPN, what the hell's his name? It doesn't matter. He's covered LeBron his entire career. And Windhorst, Brian Windhorst. My cousin calls me Justin Windhorst all the time, and I always
I'm not playing.
You remember that time he fell asleep on the TV? That was hilarious. I watched that live, and it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. How do you fall asleep on camera?
Hey man, he's a hardworking guy, man. Leave Wendy alone.
Holy, yeah. But no, he and Shaw, by the way, no, that's not true. He left. He said he had no problem re-signing. Him and D Wade wanted, they felt they had more left in the tank. And by the way, him re-signing with Miami, he was only going to resign for 1 to 2 years at a time anyways. He always could have gone back to Cleveland to get that, but he purposely left that year because him and Pat Riley butted heads. He went out and got wooed by everybody else, and he got least wooed by the owner of his particular team that he was with at the time. But Pat Riley never disrespected him the way that Dan Gilbert did, and he ended up going back to Dan Gilbert as far as
he could flex on him. He could flex on Dan Gilbert.
He can flex on it. He's flexing on it. He's flexing on the Lakers right now. I mean, and again, I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, but that's the NBA today. The players have all the power. It's not the owners have. This is probably the least power owners have had over their teams ever, and that's not just in basketball. That's across the football. They're pretty tight on their team. Basketball, though, is the least power that owners have had on their team in quite some time. When speaking of time, we'll be back in a moment because Stephen A. Smith had some interesting comments about the Steve Nash hire within Brooklyn. We'll get to that. You brought up Mark Jackson. We'll discuss that in a moment. More of your calls, more of your reaction on Facebook when we come back. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, like the page. Chat's open. We pull your stuff into the show and interact with you that way. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
In these times, it's important to look after yourself. At Kettering Health Network, we offer telehealth video visits so you can see Kettering Physician Network providers from the comfort of your home using your computer, tablet, or phone. With Kettering Telehealth, you can keep up with your wellness visits, see a specialist, and everything in between. Start by visiting ketteringhealth.org/telehealth. Kettering Health Network.
PB Auctions is back in Zanesville at the fairgrounds with the big building material and home improvement auction, and it's all online. Don't miss your chance to buy kitchens, flooring, doors, trim, siding, plumbing, and tools. Over 1,000 lots, all to be sold online in the auction at pbauctions.com. Bidding is now open and the auction ends Thursday at 12 p.m. Go to pbauctions.com for registration and preview times, and we'll see you online at the auction this Thursday in Zanesville, Ohio.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations, serving the greater Dayton and Cincinnati area, is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that is safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase. Visit on Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
I'm thinking of you. What kinder words could be more meaningful at a time like this? At First Florist and Greenhouses, we know everyone is coping the best they can. And when hugs are not possible, a kind word or gesture can bring comfort and a smile. So today, make that phone call or send a heartfelt note to someone you care about. And if you'd like to send a fresh bouquet of flowers, we can help with that. We're First Florist and Greenhouses at 1306 Troy Street in Dayton, a local family-owned business since 1905. And we're thinking of you.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Morning.
How'd you get in my house, B?
Through the air conditioning vent. It's dark in there.
Go away.
How about some Honey Nut Cheerios?
Cheerios. Do I look like a child to you?
Honey Nut Cheerios are tasty and can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet. Did you just
No.
I'm pretty sure I heard a
It was my dryer.
You might want to get that thing checked out.
Have a change of heart. Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Napa know-how. Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Ace is the only national retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint, which means premium quality paint and Ace's award-winning service are now just around the block. If you want a new look no further than Ace.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
I'm Charla. I'm a Park National banker, and I'm a new grandma. At Park National Bank, we believe that we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. Now, bringing our family of community banks together under a single brand name means you get those core values you always counted on from us, and more service, more access, and more options. We're all together now at Park National Bank, where you mean more.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
Napa know-how. Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Fall is just around the corner. So are Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. Like $5 off 1-gallon cans and $20 off 5-gallon buckets instantly on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains. Instant savings on appliances. Everything from mulch to power tools. With savings like these, what'll you do next? Tackle more fall projects with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, valid through September 9th. See store for details.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens, and all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely, like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says I'm a catch more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Hour 2, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Tonight, according to the schedule, we kick off Ohio State football, Ohio State, Illinois. Ohio State at Illinois. Oh, no, wait, never mind. Season was canceled or postponed. Might come back, might not. It's all up in the air. It's debatable. Sad face. Do you realize that tonight, like, Ohio State should have been kicking off? The ACC, by the way, kicks off, I think, like, not this
Saturday.
weekend, the next weekend, right?
Yep,
so
next
we can
Saturday.
Man, the Big Ten would have kicked off before all the other. I mean, so, like, that's why people got so mad, because they went from being, like, uber aggressive to, oh, yeah, like, not only are we going to kick off, we're going to kick off, like, weeks before, like, a week before the ACC, weeks before the SEC, and then you pull the plug on the season, like, 3 days later. Unreal. But, again, all the talk of potential. I saw last night one of the blogger sites, one of their writers announced that, hey, he got the scoop. He has some scoop that they're going to be meeting tomorrow. So I don't know. Well, we'll see. The scoop is in. Will there be a meeting a vote amongst presidents tomorrow? We shall find out. And if there is a vote, I can't wait to find out 4 weeks from now what the real vote was. I tell you what, it's going to be interesting.
Or when they actually vote and then they tell everybody what the vote numbers are, will people actually believe it?
Oh, no, nothing will be. That's why all of this is annoying. Like, the fans are annoying. Like, the only thing that will satisfy fans is not an explanation as to why there's not a season. It's just they want to be told that there's a season, which, by the way, you have every right to feel that way. Fan is short for fanatic, more power to you. I balance my fandom out. I use common sense and still be excited about my team whenever that time comes. So, but if the Browns don't play this year, all hell. Go Browns. All right, we'll get into some NFL talk coming up here in just a moment. But earlier today, and by the way, so just real quick to kind of recap what had happened with, with the Nets signing Steve Nash today. Again, we talked about it earlier. Steve Nash, if you're watching live on Facebook, you could take a look at his on the court resume. But the one glaring issue with his resume, as a basketball resume, is no coaching experience, and people are losing their minds about that. 2 years ago, I was very hot about that stuff. I thought it was ridiculous that guys were getting coaching jobs who had no coaching experience. And that even happens in baseball. Aaron Boone didn't just get a managerial job in Major League Baseball. He got the managerial job. He got the Yankees job. He went from Sunday Night Baseball and a Major League MLB analyst on ESPN to in the dugout every night for the Yankees during the baseball season as the manager. You know what I mean? So like guys get those opportunities all the time. How about David Ross with the Cubs? So, former player, boom, just taking over as a manager a few years later. It happens all the time in baseball. Football's a little different. There's a lot more, elements, a lot more, roadblocks along the way. But basketball, we're starting to see it. This isn't new. Why people overreact to this today is really alarming, because if you take a look at the landscape of the National Basketball Association, that's kind of the norm now. Guys are getting head coaching opportunities that don't have head coaching experience, or at least NBA coaching experience. David Blatt with the Cavaliers, as we talked about. Steve Kerr, the most popular one, has won multiple championships with the Warriors and won a championship his very first year as head coach in the NBA. Ty Lue won a championship his very first year as a head coach in the National Basketball Association, except he at least had, some assistant. He was an assistant coach, interim coach for half a season, won a championship, all that fun stuff. But Brad Stevens got a head coaching job in the NBA with no assistant, background in the National Basketball Association, as we talked about. Jason Kidd. All right. And of course, this has been kind of spun around a little bit to kind of go with everything going on right now with race. It got spun into that Steve Nash got this job because of white privilege. Here's Stephen A. Smith discussing that earlier today on ESPN's First Take.
I want to first state that Steve Nash has no coaching experience. But if you talk about an outlier, an individual that is just special on so many levels, it is Steve Nash. Not just as a player, but his mentorship to some degree with Steph Curry. The brothers that he has looked out for and supported when Quentin Richardson was his teammate, and he took money off his plate to make sure Quentin Richardson got paid. When he had his man Steven Jackson, his former teammate, his teammate at the time, living with him and took him in and looked out for him. The respect that he has around the league, his smarts, his intelligence, his basketball IQ. Steve Nash is a sensational dude, and if anybody deserves this opportunity, absent the experience that obviously he has as a coach, it is him. It happened for Steve Kerr, who had never coached on any level before, but he took over Golden State, and look at the job that he's done. Steve Nash is widely respected and loved by a whole bunch of people in the NBA, black, white, and beyond. Congratulations to him. He deserves it. I get it.
That was Stephen A. Smith earlier today. That was the first part. Again, he just listed all the reasons he got the job, but then it was like a backhanded compliment because he washed it all away with the back end of the statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way around this. This is white privilege. This does not happen for a black man. No experience whatsoever on any level as a coach, and you get the Brooklyn Nets job. I know that Kyrie and KD have both signed off on this. I know they both support this move. But I'm thinking about a champion that is Ty Lue, passed up. I'm thinking about a guy who built the foundation for the Golden State Warriors in Mark Jackson, passed up. I'm thinking about the years that Sam Cassell has served as an assistant, first in the nation's capital in D.C., and now with the Los Angeles Clippers, passed up. And it's for a guy, my God, one of the best guys you could possibly meet in your life, and may do a fantastic job, but a guy that has no experience whatsoever.
All right, that was Stephen A. Smith on First Take, which again, went. I guess can't say it went viral when you're national, TV, and it's the best sports radio show out there, not sports radio, sports debate show out there. But again, it was like he listed all the reasons to justify them hiring him, but then he took it all away with that. I mean, it kind of leaves you kind of in the middle. Where are you as far as that is concerned? Because again, I get that exists out there. I mean, that is a concern, but he just listed all the reasons that he was credible for the job. By the way, Ron says Billy Donovan, another coach that got a head coaching job in the NBA with no NBA coaching experience as far as that's concerned. Another good one there. But Steve Nash to the Nets ruffled a lot of feathers for some reason.
I don't think it should ruffle a lot of feathers. Steve Nash is qualified. I don't think you necessarily need to have NBA coaching experience to coach in the NBA. He was a point guard in the league for a very long time. Like you talked about, he was not necessarily on the Warriors coaching staff, but him and Steph have a tight relationship where he basically trains Steph and Clay. And like you said, it's more about relationships and being able to manage egos as a NBA head coach now, because everybody knows the same stuff. And more importantly, they run all the same action. It is high pick and roll, high pick and roll, high pick and roll. Like that's the staple play of the NBA now.
And that pick and pop with Kyrie and Durant.
Exactly.
Good.
So like, I mean, I know he knows his stuff. As far as the other coaches, and it is ironic that this is a topic on the week that we lost John Thompson. I don't necessarily see that big of a problem or a problem at all with Steve Kerr being the head coach. I know people talk about Mark Jackson all the time when there's a head coaching vacancy, but like I just don't ever see him saying I want a job or reports that he wants the job.
I guess someone said he was on Dan Patrick. Real quick, let me pull it up on Facebook. Shaw says Mark Jackson was on Dan Patrick's show yesterday talking about how he was interviewing for multiple jobs in the NBA. And he's one of my, I would be all for it. Whether it's the Bulls, I have no problem with that. I mean, many people looking at the Knicks, that makes the most sense. But again, they go to, Thibodeau or Thibodeau, Coach Tibbs or whatever. So, that's interesting nonetheless.
But I mean, like, I really don't see it in the NBA like that. Coach Tibbs don't have the coaching experience. Like, Coach Tibbs is great. Like, he brought that Bulls franchise back. He had the T-Wolves back when Jimmy Butler was there. And if they were smart, they would have kept Jimmy Buckets and kept Tibbs, and maybe they wouldn't be so soft right now. So Tibbs is a great coach. I mean, you do look at certain situations. You look at maybe a Billy Donovan, but I mean, you tell me, like, they weren't predicted to make the playoff this year. I know they got a great point guard in Chris Paul. They took the Rockets to Game 7 and everything like that. You telling me Billy Donovan has nothing to do with that? I think he does. But you do have to look at it from the aspect of, a lot of guys out there, like you want to look at a Patrick Ewing who's basically been an assistant coach in the NBA until he became the head coach at his alma mater in Georgetown, not getting an opportunity. You look at Sam Cassell being an assistant coach for a long time, not getting an opportunity. There are opportunities out there. The question may need to be asked, the opportunities that they're offered, maybe they don't want them. I know everybody wants to coach in a high profile job, or the coach is willing to take the gigs that nobody wants. There's going to be an opening. Trust me, there's going to be an opening in Houston very soon, because the Rockets, breaking news, are not beating the Los Angeles Lakers, and Antonio basically has to make it to the finals or he's fired. There's an opening right now in Philly. I'll be interested in seeing who gets that. I think Tyronn Lue will be perfect for Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens in the other coaching positions.
I think it's just now every time a white coach is hired, the first thing that comes out is, white privilege. White privilege is thrown around a lot now, and I believe that it exists, but I don't believe that that's the excuse for anytime a white person has something good happen to them. I don't think it's fair to say, and that's why, when Stephen A. said this part.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way around this. This is white privilege. This does not happen for a black man. No experience whatsoever on any level as a coach.
The problem with that is that's not true. Like Isaiah Thomas got a head coaching job in the NBA with no previous experience. I mean, Mark Jackson, by the way, when Mark Jackson got hired, he had no previous coaching experience. Doc Rivers got hired. No previous coaching experience. Magic Johnson, I forgot Magic Johnson coach. So I think both could be, you can acknowledge that white privilege exists, and I don't think it has anything to do with this. I don't think in the NBA that they are saying, oh, man, we should hire Mark Jackson. Nah, he's black. We don't want to hire him. Let's just go get Steve Nash. I don't like, again, crazier things have happened. All right. You can't sit there, after the Clippers Sterling thing from a few years ago, whatever. But that's definitely not the case here. I think that that's making something out of nothing. I think you have to acknowledge that stuff exists in this role, but I don't think that has anything to do with it here. By the way, we just got done talking about how the players have all the power. If Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving stood up on a chair and said, hey, you know what? We want Mark Jackson. He's the coach.
Right.
The coach that the Nets hired was the guy that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving went to the ownership group and said, that's who we want. The powers, the players have all the power. LeBron, who's the Lakers coach right now, former Pacers coach. Vogel. Why didn't LeBron say, I want Ty Lue? Like, the players can decide who they want to be.
So
the
LeBron's
coach.
credit, he never jumps into the coaching thing.
Oh, that's why Ty Lue was the coach with the Cavs.
Yeah, after goofball design plays for freaking Richard Jefferson for a game-winning shot. Yeah, I probably would get him up out of there.
Who? You mean someone tried to coach LeBron? Yeah, you can't do that. There's a reason
LeBron drawing up no play for Richard Jefferson when you got LeBron James.
Was Richard Jefferson the play that they drew it up for, or was he one of the secondary options?
Nah.
I don't agree with that.
Nah, we're not getting.
What was the huddle like when you were sitting there in the huddle? What was that like?
I'm not drawing up a play for Richard Jefferson or anybody else. For the Cavaliers, if you have a player, ain't LeBron James.
If you have a player on the floor and the defense takes something away from LeBron, you mean to tell me coaches aren't telling you here's options 2, 3, and 4?
LeBron James, you get it.
Michael Jordan was always the guy, but he passed it off to Steve Kerr. He passed it off to Paxton. LeBron's passed shots off to guys. Ray Allen's hit some big shots. So, again, I get it. You always draw the play for the best player. But, again, when the defense takes that away, you mean to tell me coaches haven't engraved in these guys' heads, hey, when they take that away, here's what you're looking for next.
So I'm the LeBron defender today?
I'm not bashing LeBron. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. But my point is with all this is, like, I don't agree with that that notion that this was white privilege.
I don't either.
I thought that was a very far-fetched for him.
I don't see it. I may be wrong, but I don't see it like that in the NBA. Now in college basketball, definitely, but in the NBA, I just don't see it. I see
college basketball's got better. I mean, you have Hardaway at Memphis, you have Patrick Ewing at Georgetown, and again, I'm not just listing black coaches. I mean, but big prominent names have taken over. I mean, Jerry Stackhouse, Juwan Howard at Michigan. So like basketball's gotten better, and you're starting to see the same thing in college or in the colleges in the NBA, where hey, we're not hiring guys that know their X's and O's. We're hiring guys that could be the faces of our universities, that will honor our past, be a great landing spot for the future, but also be in the now. Patrick Ewing's great for Georgetown as far as that's concerned. Will that lead to championships? I don't know. Georgetown has not been Georgetown since Hibbert. I mean, that's like the last time I remember Georgetown being Georgetown. It was when Ohio State did Greg Oden going up against
15
Hibbert
years ago.
Right? Like that was the last year that I really remember Georgetown being Georgetown as far as that's concerned. Memphis, I mean, Hardaway has, put them on the map. Like we're paying, we're watching, we're seeing players pick Memphis over Kentucky and North Carolina and Duke and other, like that's what Hardaway has done there. Juwan Howard's done. Juwan Howard just had to put a release out 2 weeks ago to say he's acknowledging all the rumors that are circulating about all the NBA jobs opening up, that he has zero plans of leaving. So that's where I'm at. Like college is getting better. And again, of course, you have Anthony Grant here at UD, but again, that's not one of those hires on the national scale, but he is the national coach of the year. So I think college is getting better as far as that. The former player thing is taken over, and that's and who was it? Someone just tweeted out too that it's not the only privilege that is taking place in basketball when it comes to hiring coaches is former player privilege. Name many coaches. There's not many coaches in there that have not that run NBA teams and even in the new hires in basketball that haven't played either at that university or played in college at some point or in the NBA. So it's not white privilege that's the problem, right? It's not even a problem or white privilege is a problem. The player privilege isn't a problem. I mean, I have no problem for hiring former players. If that's who the players relate to and respond, I don't care who the hell you hire as far as that's concerned. So we shall see.
We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see how it all folds out after the NBA season is done, after all the hires are made. We're going to see what happens. I mean, we all know Tyronn Lue's getting the job. One of these jobs he's going to get.
And by the way, and that's the thing too, because I read a little bit ago that Jay Wright, that's who the Sixers are looking at. Jay Wright came out and said he doesn't want the job. So then when Ty Lue gets it, it's going to be like, oh, well, he got it because the white guy didn't want it. Like that. And Ty Lue is favored. I just
Jay Wright has
to
release one of those like every year.
And Jay Wright, the Sixers is a horrible job.
You think the Sixers is a horrible job?
Their whole purpose on their plan to get better is let's suck. Then when you get the good players from the years that you sucked with them and couldn't win anything with them. I think it's a horrible job. I never gave them credit when just because you put a cute nickname on something, the process, when you strip away the process, all that was all right, let's just suck for a couple years and get high draft picks and hopefully one of our picks. I mean, nothing's Markelle Fultz isn't even on the team anymore. Okafor didn't pan out at all. Who else am I going? Oh, and like in Embiid, he's good, but the problem is his style of play fit more the early 2000s. Like Embiid would be more of a star in the early 2000s than now. I mean, it works at times.
Which one leaves? Who leaves? Embiid or Simmons? Who you building around?
I don't think either of them are leaving. Simmons, I don't know how. I mean, my thing is, he can't shoot. What are you doing in the offseason? Like, have you ever wondered why NBA play, like, if you can't shoot free throws, why can't you shoot free throws? Why can't you? I mean, again, basketball's weird to me. It's like
mental.
There are just certain things that you just can't get better at. And again, I'm acknowledging that that's the case, but isn't it weird?
It's mental.
Like when they say, like for Obi, a prime example. He's not a good three-point shooter. My God, he worked his ass off, and he was a hell of a three-point shooter this past season. I love when I see that. I love when I see guys who have deficiencies and they address those and work on them in an offseason. The next year, they get it better. It's like, why can college players continue to get better, but in the NBA, I'm not saying, the light works now. How about that? You know what I mean? Like, it's strange to me that and all the bad free throw shooters, we just accept that they're bad free throw shooters. But I'm not saying that they're not working on their free throws in the gym, but my goodness. Like, you mean to tell me that's just something you cannot improve no matter what?
It's mental. It is 100% mental. The reason why Ben Simmons is not a good shooter is because it's mental. One, he won't even shoot the ball, because he's scared he's going to miss. The reason why LeBron James is a 65% free throw shooter is because it's mental. You can't tell me that LeBron James can't hit free throws. He goes on stretches where he is hitting 80%, and then he goes on stretches where he's hitting 40%.
I think when people, that hurt. When people rip LeBron about free throws, I think it's the timing. Like, he misses a lot of clutch free throws. Like, Skip Bayless loves to find any reason to beat up on him. It's usually not about when they bring up free throws, it's fourth quarter free throws. Like, that's every time I watch that show in the morning, it's always highlighting LeBron's free throw, shooting in the fourth quarter or whatever.
That's a prime example of it being mental. And I mean, we're not about to break down LeBron's free throw shooting motion, but like, LeBron James is a rhythm shooter. So the guy, he does the rocker thing, the step forward. Like, he's not a catch and shoot guy. And basically that's what free throws are. It's catching and shooting the ball. Like, he's a rhythm shooter, and he just doesn't have a comfortable rhythm at the free throw line. Hey man, there is no perfect player. And LeBron James' weakness is free throws. Shaquille O'Neal weakness was free throws. Like, it is what it is. There is no perfect player. Just got to deal with it.
LeBron's perfect.
That's 68% free throw shooting percentage.
My God, you know how good you have to be that the only thing people have to bitch about you is free throws. Like,
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, there's no perfect player. It is what it is. We all have
the
to
most perfect player is LeBron James. He can pass the ball better than Michael Jordan. All right, he can score just like Michael Jordan. He can rebound better than Michael Jordan. I mean, I don't know why we make that so damn complicated. I mean, my goodness, it's really not that hard to figure out. I mean, let's do like a blind resume. Hey, do you want the player that is a really good scorer and defender, or do you want the player that can be the best passer in the league, the best scorer in the league, and the best rebounder in the league? Do you want that guy or the other guy? Well, the scoring guy who plays defense is pretty cool, but I'll take the guy that could be the best passer in the league, the best rebounder in the league, and the best scorer in the league. I don't know why we make the MJ thing so complicated. It's really not hard.
I don't know either.
It's really not hard to figure out.
I don't either. I don't know why you always have to bring up Michael Jordan when there's a LeBron James topic.
Because those are the two best players in the history of the league. So that's why they go hand in hand.
Okay. You'll take one guy, I'll take the other.
So you'll take the guy that is not the better passer, not the better rebounder. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I want the player that is the best overall player. You have a better chance of winning with the best overall player than the other one. I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's what?
I wholeheartedly disagree. I just disagree.
How do you disagree with? Again, do you want the player that is the best passer in the league, rebounder, scorer, or just the guy that can score? I think it's pretty obvious that you want to go with the best overall player.
You subtracted the whole defense, then you subtracted.
LeBron is one of the top defenders in the league every year. Not that he's gotten old, not that he's gotten older, but that's everyone. MJ wasn't a good defender as he got older. So once you took the defense away from MJ, he was just a really good scorer. Okay. Oh, he did the tongue thing too.
And won a whole lot.
Yeah, and he liked to gamble a lot. Which, by the way, did you see the guy he invested in DraftKings? I could think of no better thing for MJ.
How is that even legal, though?
As an owner, you're right. I agree with you 100%.
I don't know if that's legal. I don't think you should be able to
Is he an investor or is he a consultant? Either way,
he ain't doing it for free. We know Jordan don't do nothing for free. So,
and who's he consulting? His bookie.
Consulting. I don't know how that flies. I just don't know how that flies. Like, I don't know if you can do that.
I also saw the Cavs jerseys, by the way, are their Jordan brand. That would be like
the ultimate troll job.
Mike, I mean, that would be like, I'm trying to think of an example of it is. It's the ultimate troll. I mean, having to see Jordan there on the, is what it is. By the way, on Facebook, Ron Moreland says the Cleveland Browns are the process in the AFC North. No playoffs, no love. By the way, Ron, I'm just curious. You're one of the more sensitive Bengals fans on the page. I'm just curious. What do you think the Bengals did last year to get Mr. Joey B? Do you think they tried their hardest last year? And if you say that they did try their hardest, I think that's more embarrassing than not trying your hardest because we'll be back in a moment. Let's talk about that process when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of showers down to a low of 59. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a high of 76. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hot rods, muscle cars, classic cars, and imports. You've got to see Cars and Parts Giant Swap Meet event this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Springfield Clark County Fairgrounds. Thousands of vendors and cars for sale this weekend at Springfield Clark County Fairgrounds. Info at ohioswapmeet.com or call 937-376-0111.
You got to see it. You got to be there. Come on out and see. Cars and Parts Swap Meet and Car Show. Bring the family.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing. No, guys, it's not you. We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again, safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes, including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more. Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton at the corner of Needmore and I-75 or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton. Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tires, service, and accessories. Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
Ready to take on that painting project? Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 35% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $25.02, August 27th through September 7th. With 35% off our exceptional paints and stains, you can give some color love to your bathroom, living room, or every room in your home. Shop in store or order online for curbside pickup. Retail sales only, some exclusions apply. See store for details.
And now a game of commercial chicken brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive because they big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Beauty lovers, we've got good news. 21 Days of Beauty is here at Ulta Beauty. That means you can snag the very best in beauty with daily beauty steals of 50% off the must-haves from brands like Tarte and Benefit Cosmetics. And with new launches to love from brands like KVD Vegan Beauty and Tula, your beauty routine is in for a treat. Have fun finding new faves at beauty's biggest event. Shop in-store, online, or try curbside pickup today. Event ends September 19th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Paint? No. Paramount isn't just paint. It's the #1 paint in overall interior hide and stain resistance, providing the most advanced protection in just one coat. And now you can get that same outstanding protection with our new Paramount One Coat White. This first of its kind one coat ready mix white provides a beautiful white finish. You'll find Paramount paint exclusively at Menards. In third-party tests, interior paint claims versus super premium home center brands in eggshell sheen.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
Always get your go-to with the new $10 tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com. Price higher in some locations. Limited time offer. Availability of contactless curbside and delivery areas. Charges and minimums vary. Delivery charge not tipped.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the iconic cleaning formula known around the globe. Try a Simple Green product today, and if you're not 100% satisfied, I'll refund your money. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace is the only national retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint, which means the paint you trust and a huge selection of colors are right in your neighborhood. And right now, when you buy a sample of Benjamin Moore paint, we'll give you $5 off your next paint purchase. So if you're looking for award-winning service and a new look for your home, look no further than Benjamin Moore paint at Ace. Offer valid on gallons of Benjamin Moore, Clark & Kensington, and Royal Paint. Limit one $5 coupon on 1 gallon purchase at participating Ace stores only. See store for additional details and exclusions.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Where you get this one from? I have no idea. I have no idea.
Sounds
I'm looking for
very
this.
Gentleman Club-esque.
How about this? So John Rothstein, by the way, you said it sounds very what?
Gentleman Club-esque.
I never pay attention to the music. They play music?
And they serve food.
Oh, apparently the wings, man.
Shouts out to Lou Will.
Yeah, we welcome you back again. It's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. John Rothstein says that the 2020 Maui Invitational is considering Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville, North Carolina as a potential location. Well, I feel bad for the team. I bet UD's like, I'm so glad that we played in Maui last year and don't have to play in North Carolina this year for the Maui Invitational. Like, it's an honor to be invited to Maui no matter what. But I'm just saying, like, again, it's all part of the adjustments that are being made as far as that's concerned. And I'm looking for. All right. So again, John Rothstein said that according to sources. Oh, it just reset on me. I'm looking for the tweet where he was talking about when the potential start date for college basketball is going to be. We talked about that the other day. We're talking like end of November now, early December, which I'm just glad that there's going to be college basketball. I try to remain as positive as possible and always say, hey, I'm just glad that we're even going to have a season to begin with, no matter what. I do acknowledge the fact that the severity of not having March Madness in back-to-back seasons, I think not having it for 1 year is catastrophic. I can't even think of another adjective to describe what it would be like 2 years in a row with no March Madness, Kev. Like, it's going to be very different in how they do this. But my thing is and I'm curious people's thoughts on this, here in Dayton, again, a lot of college basketball fans. Folks, have you started to ask yet why your sport is being treated differently than football? We know that football is the cash cow, but if you look at the University of Dayton, we know that basketball is the cash cow. You play in a basketball conference in the A10. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you play in a basketball conference as far as that's concerned. So why are we handling basketball with kid gloves, but we're basically just throwing the football players out into the fire for say, which I don't really view it that way for football. But I mean, in the eyes of most, it's like, man, we're forcing this football season down people's throats. Like, we are again and people don't view,
Big Ten.
People don't, people don't view it that way because they want the football. They don't look at it as it's being forced upon them. They're just, they feel like they're doing it for them, but it's really being forced upon you because of all the money involved. Not a lot of money in basketball. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, if I'm a basketball fan, if I'm Coach Grant, although he's going to acknowledge the concerns and risks that go into playing during a pandemic, Coach Nagy at Wright State, Holtman at Ohio State, and the list goes on, Brandon at Cincinnati, and the list goes on and on. But the big thing is a coach eventually going to step up and say, hey, why are we not starting on time? Why are we not? And again, I can handle a couple week postponement. It still doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that basketball tipping off at the end of November versus the beginning of November, it's all of a sudden safer for the Dayton Flyers at the end of November than what it is at the beginning of November. So that's where I'm getting frustrated here. You mean to tell me, hey, it's not safe for you to play basketball, but hey, I gotta go. We got a football game. I'll be right back. What? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm waiting as we get closer to the season. Are some people going to step up and start questioning that? Because we're at the point now heading into basketball where we were a few months ago with football, where we just assumed everything was just going to take care of itself. And then we hit the point of the off season or the preseason where it was like, oh, crap. Like, now what do we do? What do we do? Do we delay? Do we start on time? Do we have a new schedule? Do we play conference only? We haven't gotten there yet with basketball. An announcement or decision is going to be made in mid to late September as far as that's concerned, as far as what's next with college basketball. But my thing is, I'm going to continue to ask this. You can't justify pushing back basketball to late December or January when football was pushed back maybe a couple weeks. Like, technically, Ohio State should have been kicking off the season tonight at Illinois. Technically. And that was the second revised schedule. That was the revised schedule after you went to conference only. So, you know what I mean? Like, so again, let's say they get the season back and the Big Ten kicks off on October 10th. Okay. So now is the Big Ten going to look at Chris Holtman and company and say, not safe for you? And I don't want to hear the whole, oh, well, indoors, it's more dangerous. We are totally ignoring risks at this point. Risks mean nothing. What college football has taught us is that we know there are risks. Here's what we're doing to combat the risks. So don't tell me there's risks in basketball. Tell me what you're going to do to combat the risks in basketball the way you combated the risks in football. It can be done. Like, I don't want to hear that, we're not going to play basketball in November and December. Bull. There's no excuse. You can't tell, because you can't tell me it's more dangerous for basketball than football. And maybe people are like, yeah, I can tell you. If there's risks involved, there's risks in football. What are you going to do about the risks? You either don't play like the Big Ten, or you do what the other conferences are doing, going full steam into the season, acknowledging the risks. Here's what we're doing to combat the risks. Too bad if you don't like it. So basketball needs to have that same approach. Basketball just can't do the Pac-12 approach. And, well, they just told us to not play, so we're just not going to play. They need the Big Ten approach. As much as it's annoying me a little bit, the fans, I respect the Big Ten's approach of like, no, we're not going to put up with no. You're not going to let them play and not us play. That's absolutely not going to happen. I respect that fire and passion, and that's the same kind of fire and passion I'm hoping to see out of college basketball. It's still too soon, so I think everyone's kind of staying like quiet right now. But I hope as we get closer, I hope that a Coach Calipari, I hope that a Coach Krzyzewski, I hope some of the bigger name coaches in college basketball, rating National Coach of the Year and Anthony Grant, I hope we hear coaches step up and say, no, what are we doing here? Why are we delaying? We know that there's risks. There's risks for football. They're playing. Just tell us what the risks are. We'll tell you how we're going to combat them, and let's play some damn ball. I don't get this. It's going to continue to frustrate me as we get closer and closer. I can handle 2 or 3 weeks, but then the more I start thinking about it, what do those 2 or 3 weeks of postponing do? What did that accomplish? That's where I'm frustrated as far as that's concerned.
It's a total lack of foresight. Everything that we've been talking about with college football was total lack of foresight, seeing what was going to happen. And we're seeing the exact same thing happen with college basketball. I did see over the weekend, I think it was last weekend, that the NCAA trademarked the term battle in the bubble.
Yep.
So this is something that we talked about before. How could we get college basketball, and it would be in a bubble format? Maybe you get, 4 to 6 teams and they all play a round robin or whatever. And then you take like a week off, and then you get the other 4 to 5 teams from the conference. They play. You just like basically keep doing these bubbles until basically everybody plays each other twice. And then you get your conference champion, and then you do your conference tournament. But I don't see the whole, all right, we're going to be playing at Cameron Indoor on Wednesday, and then on Saturday we're playing at Chapel Hill, and then on Monday we're playing at the Carrier Dome. I don't see a situation like that happening in the ACC. I see there's going to be bubbles for every conference if they want it to happen.
Yeah, and that's the key. I mean, there's so many different models that are being discussed out there, and we'll see. But real quick, let's go to the phones. 457-9464. Who we got? Is this Charlie? Charlie,
what's going on?
How are you, sir?
Hey. Man. I just got off work. I'm going to go grab a steak.
A steak?
Yeah.
You need to go and grab some Milanos on the way home. I mean, we're about to dive into this Milanos on this next stop right here.
Man, I love Milanos. That's some good stuff. Hey, you know what? I was thinking, Justin, how long did it take you to research the coaches that you brought up that had no experience?
It doesn't take. You don't really have to research them. You just. I mean, what? You just kind of. I know that. I mean, what do you mean?
Well, because you just reminded me that Stephen A is like the most, like the highest paid guy in sports, right? Like sports media.
I think Tony Romo took that over, but as far as ESPN, he is the highest paid at ESPN. Yes.
But I just remember that, like, didn't he have like a comment about Dwayne Haskins and his running ability? And then one time he brought up like Hunter Henry, I think, and he was injured. And I'm just like, if Justin could look this up in like 2 seconds, why can't Stephen A? I'm sure he's got like a big crew.
Because
of people that
to be fair, I think Stephen A does know these things. I think he's looking at it bigger picture. I think what Stephen A and a lot of guys get caught up in this when they make statements like that. They are really referring to something bigger. I think he knows dang well that there have been coaches like Mark Jackson and Doc Rivers and others who have had opportunities. I think he's coming at it more of there are a lot of black assistant coaches in the NBA who have been trying to work their way up. What more do you have to do? What more do you have to do how long do you have to be an assistant coach in the NBA before you get your opportunity? I think this is more of an optics thing. The optics are going to fit that narrative more than the narrative being true of, they only hired that they didn't want anyone else. That there was a black guy to be head coach. They wanted Steve Kerr or they wanted Steve Nash because he's white. Stephen A. He knows what the hell he's doing. I think he was talking about it more from an institutional standpoint, from the bottom up, more than anything else, if you ask me.
Oh, okay. I was just like, man, he's kind of done that before. Like, he's just brought up things that, like, I'm like, did anybody research this?
I mean, they talk for hours and hours and hours a day between radio, TV, and they talk about every different sport under the sun. So they're allowed to make a mistake here and there. Yeah, I know that's unheard of in 2020. You're not allowed to make mistakes in 2020, but You
and Kev are sharp, man. I'll tell you. But here's the other thing. I was talking to Kev about this. I think you overstepped a little bit with the LeBron argument because.
Here we go. Hold on, let me get my gloves. Hold on, I gotta get my boxing gloves. Let's go.
Ding, ding. You said that you want the guy who gives you the best chance to win.
Yeah.
So that's Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan had the best teams.
You can't. He has the most rings, so he gives you the best chance to win.
Yeah, and he was on he played for a better franchise. Again, LeBron's hopping all over the place, and actually, he never would have left Cleveland. And I've said this before, by the way. Watching that documentary for the Bulls, yes, the ownership was very quirky, and they were very strange. But when MJ needed something, like MJ never had to go to ownership and say, "Hey man, I need a Robin. Hey man, I need a post player. Hey man, I need this." Ownership kicked ass in the draft. I mean, whether it was Turkoglu, whether it was Pippen, they drafted MJ. Obviously, I mean, all those guys, that was all the draft. So the Bulls were just a better organization. The owners were kooky as can be. I'm not going to defend how their relationships with players. They mistreated Scottie Pippen and all that stuff, and obviously they were very weird with how they handled Phil Jackson. But the Bulls were a very good organization. I've always said this: if the Cavs were a good organization and they drafted better and they provided LeBron with the talent he needed, LeBron only left Cleveland because he couldn't accomplish what he wanted to accomplish in Cleveland. If they weren't drafting well, if they weren't providing him with the weapons that he had, I'm not guaranteeing he would have bolted because free agency was a little. I think, when did that come into play? In the middle of his career, Kev? Do you remember what season that was? Free agency. My point is I'm not going to give MJ complete credit for that, and I'm going to give the Bulls a lot of credit for providing him with enough weapons that he never had to consider bouncing. That's all.
All right. Well, we were talking about it last night, a couple friends, and I think what we come up with, because I think everybody's like, I'm so happy that you guys are like picking sides, but I think everybody else is kind of over picking sides. But I think LeBron, as an athlete and as a basketball player, he's just more gifted, but I think Michael just wanted it more. And I think that's really all it is. Why, there's better quarterbacks than Tom Brady, but he's considered the GOAT.
MJ wanted it more? You mean the guy that quit twice? Because he couldn't handle it, and he got tired of reporters being in his face. He didn't even have. Can you imagine if MJ couldn't handle reporters in his face? Imagine how he would have handled the social media era.
Oh, I don't even think he would be active on social media. And I think there's a lot of athletes that really don't mess with it. There's, for every big star that's on there, there's probably 5 guys that aren't. But I don't know.
Basketball's different, though. Those guys, look, Kevin Durant had burner accounts. LeBron today, he cracked me up. I'm going to knock him here. Jay Williams said something about him on the show today that ticked him off. And LeBron said, "You know what the F are you doing? I'm here minding my own business, prepping for the Houston Rockets."
F's.
Yeah.
Several F's.
And he said, and I said, first of all, LeBron, I love LeBron. I'm always going to defend LeBron, but he looks stupid in that tweet because, hey, I'm here minding my own business, prepping for the Rockets. Apparently, you're prepping so well for the Rockets that you were able to come across this tweet and respond to this tweet and be so focused on this tweet. Focus on James Harden. Focus on Russell Westbrook. How about that? Stop worrying about Jay Williams. Stop worrying about that. They're in a bubble. They ain't got nothing to do. I didn't ask what they had to do. He's supposed to be prepping for the Rockets.
They're going to put the Rockets away in the first quarter. So that's not really going to matter. But, hey, man, you guys have a good one. I'm going to eat this steak.
Enjoy. We'll be back. We got to go. I'm hungry. So we're going to go. We got Milano's. Larry just dropped off the food, and we're going to go pop in that bag and see what he brought us. Because this whole entire studio smells fantastic. So we're going to go eat. We'll be back in a few. I'll talk some NFL coming up here in just a little bit. Ron brought up the fact that the Buccaneers they look just as talented as the Browns. Let's take away that whole philosophy of, well, they look good, but will they play good? Kev, which team looks the best on paper? The sexiest team on paper heading into the season. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Call It Propane, we're proud to say that 98% of our customers would recommend Call It.
If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, why are you still using them? Summertime is the best time to change suppliers and take advantage of our budget options. Give us a call to find out how, or find us online at callitpropane.com.
Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Call It Propane and Call It Seal Coating are proud to serve the Miami Valley for over 65 years.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Foot odor throwing you off your game? Stick to a winning game plan with Odor Eaters, featuring 3 advanced odor and wetness fighters. The lineup provides long-lasting odor control plus more to keep your feet on their game.
And if you didn't know, Odor Eaters powder provides outstanding moisture control. Clear drying spray is the MVP in preventing athlete's foot, while insoles work continuously to manage wetness while adding a layer of comfort. Pick up today at Walmart, Target, CVS, Dollar General, or other fine retailers.
Odor Eaters destroy foot odor with the best in odor defense.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got you. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the NPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Right now, savings count more than ever. So what if you could unlock extra savings on any project? With an extra 5% off all eligible purchases using the Lowe's Advantage card, you can. From an extra $6 off sanding that deck to saving another $75 on that new fridge. The extra savings make every project even better. Last year, cardholders saved over $300 million. Join them and start your next project with a Lowe's Advantage card. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Time to clean your car? We've got what you need. Our $25 premium car wash bucket deal has everything to keep your ride looking great inside and out. From McGuire's Gold Class Car Wash to interior detailer cleaner. And you can get it fast your way with our free same-day pickup, in-store, or curbside. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations, serving the greater Dayton and Cincinnati area, is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that is safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase. Visit on Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
WGU is different than any other university. Accredited online learning, you can do it anytime. No lectures. Study when and where you want. Nonprofit WGU orients everything we do around you. You receive a dedicated mentor to guide you through your degree attainment. Our technology and learning environment is built around you. WGU degree programs start at the first of the month, all year long. Visit ohio.wgu.edu.
First Florists and Greenhouses is the official florist of ESPN 1410 for celebrations, memorials, or to simply show you care. Remember First Florist, 1306 Troy Street in Dayton. Shop online at firsttheflorist.com. FURSTtheflorist.com.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
Goodyear knows why we all love basketball. It's the sound of the buzzer, the roar of the crowd, the swish of the net. It's the spin on the ball as it's released, the squeaking sneakers before an inbound pass, the timeout that gives us perspective on the moment. We love basketball because we love movement. And now that it's back, we're asking you, the fans, what moves you? Goodyear, more driven.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last valid through September 7th.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at your local automotive retailer.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So, have you noticed how everyone's grammar is completely awful now? Like, you know, the texting and the LOLs. Whatever happened to punctuation? I mean, drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's time for some straight talk. You know where the full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got you. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the MPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Shop Lowe's Labor Day deals for up to 35% off select appliances like a Maytag laundry pair with an exclusive metallic slate finish and more. Offer valid through 9/16, U.S. only.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So Milano's got that Oktoberfest menu. They got that loaded potato pizza, man. I'm telling you, buddy. I brag about that thing all the dang time, and I'm like, I'm pumped to have that. Taking the leftovers. I gave you the sandwich. I'm taking the pizza.
Let me get a slice.
You already took a slice.
I need another one.
So another one. Starting this weekend on Brown Street only, the Milano's on Brown Street. Take advantage of their brunch on Brown. Brunch on Brown Street. Breakfast pizzas, breakfast melt, Southwest smothered wrap, Tex-Mex skillet, Western skillet. And again, the Western skillet, house-made breakfast potatoes topped with scrambled eggs, ham, green pepper. Yeah, I want that. I'm going to start a Saturday mid-morning show just so that Larry and Milanos can drop off the Western skillet. But no, the brunch on Brown Street, again, Milano's on Brown Street, that debuts coming up this weekend. So take advantage of that. Again, the brunch beverages. How about the Bloody Mary? You ever drink a Bloody Mary?
Unfortunately, I'm not a Bloody Mary guy.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. They need to be spicy, though. If they're spicy, they're fine. They have mimosas. How about that?
Now you're talking.
They have something called the Angry Orchard, but they call it Angry OJ, and I don't know why I find that funny.
You know why.
Angry OJ.
I know why.
I think I watched that documentary once. Captain and OJ. Captain Morgan, okay.
We had bottomless mimosas at my wedding. Good times.
Bottomless mimosas.
Yeah, man. We got loose.
All right, bucket of Natty. How about that? Natty's. It's all about the seltzers, man. The seltzers have taken over.
Yes.
How about that? So, again, Brunch on Brown, Milano's this weekend. They debut Brunch on Brown. Milano's on Brown Street. Take advantage of that. Thank you, Larry, again for feeding us here this evening. That loaded potato pizza, man. So it's mashed potatoes. They got the cheese, the bacon bits. Oh, my goodness. It's fantastic, I'm telling you. All right, let's dive into the 457-9464. That's the number to call in and join in on the conversation. But I'm curious. So yesterday, we've been getting questions for a few days as far as where do we think that Leonard Fournette was going to end up, Kev? I thought there was a lot of interesting locations, or a lot of interesting spots that he could have ended up falling to. I thought he could have ended up in Buffalo. I thought Buffalo made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I thought, they go out and get Stephon Diggs this past offseason, and then, you go get an elite running back like that. Again, you'd only own like $4 or $5 million. They're not even sure exactly what the final was, but the Buccaneers give Tom Brady easily, without a shadow of a doubt. We don't know if it's the best team he's ever played on, but it is the best roster he's ever played with. From a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, from a weapons standpoint, you have an elite running game, and they already had a good running game. No one was looking at the Buccaneers and saying, oh, my goodness, you need to upgrade your run game. This is just an opportunity where, a situation where the rich gets richer. Good for Tom Brady. And by the way, I don't want to hear, let's say the Buccaneers win a Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear anyone discredit Tom Brady's next Super Bowl because, look at all that talent. Yet the 6 Super Bowls he does have with talent significantly less than what he has now, that speaks volumes about how talented Tom Brady is. So he just, about spilled that all over the place. Yeah, let's get that. See if Ray was still here, he'd whoop me. Ooh. So where was I going with that? So, I have no problem with that. He deserves to play on a roster like this. He was loyal for so long to the Patriots, and I don't even look at him as leaving as disloyal. You know what I mean? At this point in his career, I am totally fine with him going to the Buccaneers. And if he wins the Super Bowl, I will not discredit it whatsoever.
I'm with you 100%. Hopefully they don't win a Super Bowl. No offense, Ron. I'm just a Tom Brady hater. But no, in all seriousness, this roster is loaded offensively for sure. They got weapons all over the place. The question is, I guess it's not even a question now, it is a question. Is he going to make it through the season? Because him and Drew Brees, as the season goes along, wear and tear, their body starts to break down. Not to nobody's fault or their own. Their dudes are 40 plus years old. So is he still going to be able to make that throw to Mike Evans down the sideline week 15? Those are the questions that are going to be coming up, because there is no question about the amount of talent on the team. There's no question about the work ethic that Tom Brady has. He's been showing it for 2 decades now that he's willing to put in the work and willing to make the sacrifice. And when you get a Tom Brady on your team, you better tighten up, because he's coming to work. And if you're not coming to work, you're going to be out of there. So there's no question in my mind that they're going to start out hot. They're going to start out fast on offense. The question is, how long can he hold up? Are you going to be engineering blowouts where he can rest in the second half? Stuff like that. I don't know.
And when we talk about Tom Brady and last year, we don't know. I don't know if last year was him slowing down or not. What I mean by that is he had no talent. Like, his numbers were fine at the beginning of the season when he had Antonio Brown. Again, he had one game, but he looked like Tom Brady with Antonio Brown. You look less like Tom Brady when you don't have Antonio Brown. When you had Josh Gordon, you look like Tom Brady. When you lost Josh Gordon, you didn't look like Tom Brady. By the way, they had Sanu, and they released him, about $7 million. So you still think they're not tanking? Why would you already barely have talent as it is? And that's the other thing that I think is going to be unfair to Cam Newton, by the way. When Cam Newton struggles this year, it's not going to be because, Cam Newton just still doesn't have it. It's because the Patriots didn't have anything around him. Like, I still wish Cam Newton would have been smarter about where he went, because he's not in a good situation. You're going to a team that, although might be the best organization in football, you don't have talent around you. And that's my concern for Cam Newton if he has a bad year. But Tom Brady, when we talk about all the things that could go wrong, well, those are concerns. But I try not to be the fan that heads into a season and says, well, Tom Brady, man, this is so exciting. Yeah, but he's old. What's it going to be like in week 15? Why are you worried about week 15? Why don't you worry about week 1? And then we'll worry about week 2. And then we'll worry about week 3. Stop worrying about week 15. You know what? He probably won't even be playing in week 15 because they're going to be resting his old ass because the playoffs are going to be starting soon, and they'll probably already have. Well, no, they ain't going to have that division right. That was going to come down between them and the Saints. But still, you see my point. I'm not worried about Tom Brady. I think this is going to be with this group, and who knows how long Tampa could be committed to a lot of these guys long term. I think this was a short window. You have a coach that's not looking to coach for too much longer. You have a quarterback that's not going to be able to quarterback for too much longer. Gronkowski's older. Leonard Fournette, if he has a big year again, he's going to be requiring high dollars, so you're not going to be able to keep him long term. This is a win now team. So if you're talking about expectations for the Buccaneers and Tom Brady, I expect them to win now because they're built to win now. This isn't we're trying to build around Tom Brady for the long term. They're building around Tom Brady for the short term. You're not going to have Bruce Arians long. You're not going to have Tom Brady long. You're not going to have Leonard Fournette long. And by the way, which is fine, you have Ronald Jones. And it was interesting, by the way, because you had the head coach for the Buccaneers come out today and announce that, hey, by the way, RJ, he's still the starter, that Fournette's not taking his spot. Mm-hmm. And and of course, people are freaking out about that. By the way, this is fine. The Browns proved last year you could play with 2 really good running backs on the field. And
that's a common thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's that unheard of. I think you're going to see more and more of that moving forward anyways. In fact, you already are. That's why you have teams like the Colts who had Mack and they go and get Jonathan Taylor. The Ravens had the best rushing attack in the NFL last year and they go and get J.K. Dobbins. And again, those are rookies, unproven, but they didn't need you could have the same logic there. Why draft running backs that high when you already have one of the best running games in football? Because the more running backs you have in that backfield, it's more than, as you talked about, the importance of these like McCaffrey and others. They bring more to the table now than just putting the ball in their belly and telling them to run straight.
Mm-hmm. Look at the Denver Broncos, Phillip Lindsay, and they still went and signed Melvin Gordon. They want 2. You want 2 guys that can do everything.
Yep. All right, 457-9464. We're live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, comment in the chat section below. As Ron points out, Ron is so excited right now. We're talking about his Buccaneers, and Ron is just so excited. They also have Shady McCoy. That's the thing, too. Remember, we thought it was crazy when they went and got McCoy. Yeah. So they got McCoy. Now, that they have an embarrassment of riches as far as the running game goes. You have RJ, you have Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy. But, yeah, Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski. Again, that's a big name. What does he bring to the table right away? I don't know. He took took a few years off. Mm-hmm. He lost a ton of weight. Now he's probably back in shape. He probably put a lot of that weight back on.
Gains.
I just don't know exactly, how good will he be? Howard's not even bad. They didn't even have a bad tight end to begin with.
Right.
As far as that's concerned. They got Ndamukong Suh. That was one of the quieter signings in the, Ndamukong Suh had kind of been hopping around a little bit. The Buccaneers have him. Jason Pierre-Paul. They have some weapons on the defensive side as far as that goes too.
I'm with it, man. They're definitely going to be there in the mix to win the NFC.
All right. The question now is you look at that roster, and I joked with Ron earlier. I said, I'm going to use Ron's rules. Rosters mean nothing. I got ripped last year for Ron. You're such a hypocrite, by the way, because you're so excited about your non-playoff Buccaneers team from a year ago, all of a sudden getting talent. And now you're trying to tell me that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Ron, I didn't think you were allowed to do that. I thought you had to wait and see how it played out on the field first. Ron, you're being a hypocrite. You can't sit there and be excited about this team because, hey, I'm playing by your rules, Ron. This team hasn't done anything yet. They haven't accomplished anything yet. We can't anoint them that. But again, the rules with the Browns last year, which, by the way, Chris on Facebook says Browns had quite a bit of talent on their roster last year. How'd that work out? It didn't work out well. Didn't work out well at all. But they got a coach now. They added more talent this past offseason, and the Browns are full steam ahead. You worry about your skeleton offensive line and your 12-year-old head coach who hopefully can stay up late on nights to coach your team so he doesn't have to go to bed early because he has school the next day. So don't worry about my team, Chris. You worry about your team. 160, 50 million in the offseason, and you're still projected to win 3 to 4 games. That team is more embarrassing than anything, and you even got talent. That's what's even worse. Dylan Carell, loaded potato pizza. How's that low-carb good diet going? Dylan, you know damn well how that carb diet's going. Not well. It is what it is. Ron said 7-9 last year. Winston cost them. I don't care, Ron. I don't care. The Browns were 0-16. Baker comes in, totally turned the franchise around. I don't want to hear that. No excuse. Chris said, ouch. I have all my Bengals comebacks ready and locked and ready to go, man. I'm just saying, as far as that goes. But looking at these rosters, I think the 2 sexiest rosters in the NFL, regardless of expectations for the season, because we're playing by the listeners' rules. Talent means nothing. Got to see it play out on the field, which is bull, because the Browns are winning 12 games, so I don't care what you say. But regardless, when you look at the rosters, who has the sexier roster? Don't take out expectations. Take out how you think they're going to play. Take out what happened to the Browns last year, because I think that's what's going to play a huge role in this. Which roster is sexier, in your opinion? Which one's deeper? Which one's more explosive? The Browns roster or the Buccaneers roster? Again, for those just tuning in, it's easy to say the Buccaneers are definitely going to be head and shoulders better than the Browns. We don't know, but that's really not what we're discussing here. We are discussing rosters. Who has the sexier roster? Because we're doing that whole thing of rosters mean nothing. You got to see it played on the field. Strip away expectations. Who has the better roster?
It's got to be the Buccaneers. You got the GOAT.
Got to be.
The GOAT, and you got the best quarterback of all time.
You just got done telling me that that his wheelchair gets stuck in second gear sometimes. Like
just remove expectations. He has the roster.
He has limited visiting times at the home.
I like the Buckeye fans. I'm not telling you what you want to hear.
No, you just got done telling me how like Tom Brady. You got done telling me how horrible he was last year.
He's still the GOAT.
So if MJ comes out of retirement right now, are the Bulls all of a sudden favorites to win the NBA championship?
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's retired for 20 years.
He's the GOAT, though. It don't
been
matter.
Smoking cigars, getting fatter.
He was smoking cigars in his prime.
But he wasn't fat then, though.
When he wasn't, gambling and avoiding the mob and all that.
That's how great he is.
Oh, yeah. Going to go into witness protection for a year. No better place than the White Sox to go do that. By the way, stop laughing, because what I'm about to say is going to make me sound cold-hearted. But in all seriousness, the guy who they found guilty of murdering his dad is getting out on parole.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I mean, how do you get out on parole for murder? You murdered Michael Jordan's father. I mean, the next thing you know, that guy's going to be on Dancing with the Stars with freaking Carol Baskins. Did you see that?
I saw
they
that.
put that woman on Dancing with the Stars.
Who else is on there? Nelly's on there.
Yeah, not for long. Hello, all you crazy cats and kittens. Like, if you are a judge on that show, and you better give her how does that show work? Do you get 10s? Do they hold up signs?
Yep.
Okay. Her ass is going to be getting a lot of 10s. And it's not because she's good. It's because all the judges are going to fear that she's going to feed them to the damn tigers. That's what's
my dude Neve is on here from MTV. What's that show? Catfish. You don't watch Catfish?
Yeah, the puns there are great, by the way. The Tiger Queen.
Catfish dude. Yeah, man, it's coming. I'm gonna be locked in. There's nothing else to do during the fall because there's no Ohio
Did you see her announcement? Hello, all you crazy cats and kittens, or whatever the hell she said. And then she's crazy. She just smiles. She just smiles all the time, and she's twirling around. I'm like, that's not dancing. But she's going to advance far in this thing because the judges will be terrified of her. They'll be they're going to become cat chow. Like they're going to become and she basically admitted in the documentary, whatever the hell, she basically admitted how she did it. You got to what's that little stuff you had to sprinkle on her? Yeah. I'm just saying.
She got problems, man.
They got problems putting her on there. By the way, we got Ron a little irked. He says his old ass is still head and shoulders better than Hayfield. Maybe. We'll find out. Ron, you're going to be real disappointed this year. All that trash talk from last year about the Browns, it's all about to come back and blow up in your face. Chris Harold, same thing to you. All the hate. How about, all the hate, and Ron Moreland especially. He loves the Browns. He loves the Browns. So we're going to take a vote. We're not going to go to Facebook, the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Who has the better roster, the Buccaneers or the Browns? From running backs to receivers to the quarterback to the offensive line, tight ends. Who has a better, I guess we're talking about the offensive side for right now. Offensively, who is better equipped heading in to the 2020 season? Oh, stop it. You got Gronk. He's, Hall
of Famer.
We'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of showers down to a low of 59. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a high of 76. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Got a project to do? Use the right equipment and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. With over 50 years experience, Arts has the best selection, delivery, and service, plus 14 Arts locations. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So the weather is just all over the place lately, right? One day it's hot, and the next day it's windy for a while. It's like, make up your mind already. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at your local automotive retailer.
Here's a question for you. Which Miami Valley golf course was voted the #1 golf course in the Dayton area? It's Turtle Creek Golf Course. Another question. Which golf course was rated the #4 best public golf course in the state of Ohio? That's right, Turtle Creek. And which course was rated the 18th best in the USA with green fees under $50? Right again, it's Turtle Creek. Here's my last question. When are you going to get your pals together to come out to Turtle Creek Golf Course and play? We're an easy drive to Greenville. See you soon at Turtle Creek.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing. No, guys, it's not you. We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again, safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes, including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more. Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton at the corner of Needmore and I-75 or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton. Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tires, service, and accessories. Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
The Bogey Boys are in Miamisburg, Ohio today playing the classic Arthur Hills Design Pipestone Golf Club. Be sure to call for a tee time here because this course is one of the most popular in the Miami Valley. We're in the 17th tee, a par 3 and Pipestone's signature hole. I'm looking at the green, but mostly what I see is the pond right in front of me. What a beautiful golf hole. I know if I can just hit the ball flush, I could be on the green and looking at a birdie. My problem, though, is the water. It's never been a friend friend of mine on the golf course. So today's a pretty good day, actually. I make good contact with my 8-iron and land 6 feet from the hole, holding my breath all the way. I putt in for my birdie. That is why I play golf, folks. You should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Right now, savings count more than ever. So what if you could unlock extra savings on any project? With an extra 5% off all eligible purchases using the Lowe's Advantage card, you can. From an extra $6 off sanding that deck to saving another $75 on that new fridge. The extra savings make every project even better. Last year, cardholders saved over $300 million. Join them and start your next project with a Lowe's Advantage card. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Time to clean your car? We've got what you need. Our $25 premium car wash bucket deal has everything to keep your ride looking great inside and out. From McGuire's Gold Class Car Wash to interior detailer cleaner. And you can get it fast your way with our free same-day pickup, in-store, or curbside. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Contractors, use the right equipment for your project and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. No storage, no maintenance, no hassle. 14 Arts locations and online at artsrental.com. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
Beauty lovers, we've got good news. 21 Days of Beauty is here at Ulta Beauty. That means you can snag the very best in beauty with daily beauty steals of 50% off the must-haves from brands like Tarte and Benefit Cosmetics. And with new launches to love from brands like KVD Vegan Beauty and Tula, your beauty routine is in for a treat. Have fun finding new faves at beauty's biggest event. Shop in-store, online, or try curbside pickup today. Event ends September 19th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get free assembly and delivery on all grills and accessories $3.99 and up from Ace. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members through September 7th. See participating stores for details.
Tune in every Friday night at 7 o'clock for the ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Kettering Health Network Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Check out wingam.com for the complete schedule and archive games. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
All right, happy Thursday. Welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So, again, comparing, last year, the Browns, I was so excited because that roster just looked fantastic. You had OBJ, you had Jarvis Landry. You still have that same roster this year, but you even added more to it. You actually have an offensive line. Keep in mind the Browns weakened that offensive line when, again, they moved on from a couple key pieces of that offensive line. One part of those being in the trade to go get Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. injured all last season, fully healthy and ready to go as we are just 10 days away at least, a week away at least from the regular season kicking off. A little more than that, again, whenever you talk about Sunday. The Browns and Ravens will kick off week 1 on Sunday, not this Sunday, a week from Sunday at 1 p.m. But the Browns, again, added to that roster. But I learned last year, hey, just because they're loaded up on talent doesn't mean that wins come with that talent, Kev. So, you look at the Buccaneers and everyone's losing their mind about the Buccaneers. And I'm like, well, hold on, that you're not playing by the rules. You're not playing by the rules. That's not how this works. That is not how this works at all. The Browns and the Buccaneers, who has the sexier roster? You said the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Just because of Tom Brady?
Yes, he's that good.
You just got done telling me, though, how he was not that good last year for the Patriots, but he's going to be that good this year.
He fell off. That's what I'm saying. If he's able to maintain his early season form, he'll ball out. They'll ball out. They're sexy.
I think that depth, they have a lot of depth. I think their depth is better. They have more depth than the Browns, but I think the Browns have more weapons. as many weapons. And here's what I mean. When you look at that Browns, I mean, for one, Chris Godwin, if you just go off last year, I mean, third best receiver in football as far as total receiving yards, had 9 touchdowns. I mean, he had 25 plays of 25 yards or more. I mean, the guy was just, I mean, it was unbelievable how many, or 70, no, hold on, sorry, I pulled that up wrong. But regardless, he had 25. He had 25 plays of 25 yards or more last season. He was super explosive. But I'm not, now, hear me out on this. Jameis Winston is not better than Tom Brady.
Right.
But he is, I think his arm and playmaking ability fit what they want to do better than what Tom Brady is going to do. Like, I think the offense is going to be more efficient. They're clearly not going to turn the ball over as much as last year. Jameis Winston alone threw 30 interceptions. He was ESPN's 30 for 30. People act like Tom Brady is going to be a gunslinger. Tom Brady was never a gunslinger. Now, Jameis Winston was a gunslinger last year. Jameis Winston, you take away, if you just take 10 of those interceptions away, you don't want 20, but 20 is still better than, obviously, the 30. Like, Jameis Winston would have been, he wouldn't have won MVP. Criminy, no. You would have been talking about him, though, in that kind of light, though. Throwing for 30 touchdowns. You have receivers all over the place in the top 10. I mean, they would have been that. I think Jameis Winston made a lot of these guys. I don't know if Chris Godwin will have as good a year as he did last year with Tom Brady. In fact, I know he won't. And it's not because he's not good. It's because you have Gronkowski now. You have, obviously, your running back. You have so much depth at running back. Trust me, they are not. You don't. And by the way, if you're Bruce Arians, do you want Tom Brady throwing as many times as what? So no. By the way, they also went out to get Leonard Fournette because they're going to pound it.
Yeah,
they're going to run it a lot. So maybe that goes against my rules of, okay, we're just talking from a roster. I mean, this roster is sexy as can be, but we are projecting a little bit as far as what we're expecting. Chris Godwin was unbelievable last year, but Jarvis Landry was like he was at top 10 total yards last year, top 10 in total yards. Had 6 touchdowns. Godwin only had 3 more touchdowns than he did. Okay? And again, not arguing that Jarvis is better than Godwin, but the gap between Jarvis and Godwin is not that great, if you ask me. Jarvis is one of the best, if not the best, number 2 wide receiver in football. And I've said that about, the Steelers when we've talked to Juju Smith-Schuster, a really good receiver. I just think he's more of a Jarvis than he is, an Odell or whoever, Michael Thomas, your number 1 wide receiver. You want to talk about bounce back years? I think OBJ is going to have one hell of a bounce back year. I mean, he played in almost every game last year and was healthy from the very beginning. He's having that bounce back year.
Do the thing.
I'm not doing that. That's your weird thing that you like to do. You like to play patty cake and stuff. So which roster is the sexiest? I'm going to say the Browns. I mean, look, the Browns offense was so atrocious last year, and you still had a receiver in the top 10 as far as total yards and touchdowns is concerned, and that's your number 2 receiver. And I think they're going to be even more explosive with the fact that, look, Njoku missed a lot of time last year, so not only Baker did not even have Stonehands. See what you're doing? Chris, don't encourage it, Chris. Come on, Chris Harold, let's go. They're encouraging the Stonehands, the blasphemy that is ripping Odell Beckham Jr., who at least was tough enough to continue to play during an injury, unlike AJ Green, who, by the way, shouldn't he start practicing? The season starts in a little over a week. I think it's important that he gets out on the field. I'm just saying that's I'm so petty. The Bengals had nothing to do with this.
You are.
I have it's a bad habit, folks, and get used to it. I mean, you're going to say, good morning. What's good about it? It ain't the Bengals. Like, no matter what. That's just who I am. That's how I roll. But no, Hooper is going to be a tremendous upgrade as far as that's concerned. And Njoku. Njoku's locked in and ready to go now. Njoku was injured last year. Njoku was one of the top weapons that Baker had in Baker's rookie season. He missed out on that a lot last year. But you have Hooper now, along with Njoku. And now you're going to get a full season of Kareem Hunt and Chubb together, to where last year a lot of Baker's, I told you, the last 6 games he threw, I think it was like 6 or 7 interceptions the last half of the season. All right, the majority of his interceptions all came in that first half of the season. Baker played 10 times more efficient football the second that Kareem Hunt became eligible to play. Because, for one, they stopped trying to beat you down the field every time. They were excited. They got their new toy. They were trying to just, you know what I mean? Like, they were trying to beat you over the top constantly with OBJ. OBJ wasn't having his best year due to being injured. Jarvis isn't a guy that you're going to be drawing up those big plays for 25-plus yards down the field every single time. So once they became more efficient in how they use their guys, the Browns' offense looked completely different in that second half stretch of the season. Plus, they're going to be under a better coach. much more organized, much more efficient as far as that. I just think the Browns roster is better.
Okay.
Not by much, but quarterback advantage, Tom Brady, no question about it. No question about it. But do not be surprised if the things click for the Browns this year. And again, better stats don't mean you're better, but don't be surprised if Baker's numbers are significantly better than Tom Brady's by the end of the year. This reminds me of Peyton Manning with the Broncos late. People thought that was going to be an explosive offense, and they relied heavily on that defense. Is the Buccaneers defense good enough to carry that? Now, to be fair, Brady's better at this point than what Peyton was in that back end. So, Peyton had MVP form the first year or two with Denver. His worst year was the year they won a Super Bowl. That's the sad thing. Like Peyton Manning's worst year with the Broncos was the year that they absolutely not. Absolutely not. He deserves that one. But no, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Both rosters are fantastic. I don't know. I'm just not as sold on the Buccaneers as others. Like if they rely on the run game, Fournette makes me change. I was never sold on the Buccaneers as Super Bowl favorites from the beginning. I thought they had a lot of deficiencies, and people thought that by putting Tom Brady in that position, that was just going to bring back all the success from last year, just no interceptions. You're going to clean up the interceptions, but you're not going to have the total yards.
No, because you're doing that amount of yards because you're throwing that many interceptions. You're turning the ball over. You're down 21 points, so you're throwing the ball more. So, all right, we've got some touchdowns, but it's a yin and a yang. It's a give and a take situation. So I get what you're saying. I think it just really ultimately comes down to Baker versus Tom Brady. Because, I mean, if you think about it, all right, running back, you get that to the Browns. Wide receivers, I would give it to Tampa Bay. Offensive line, I think, is a push. So it all comes down to the quarterback. It comes down to Tom versus Baker.
I'm getting, good God, man, you sound like a delusional Bengals fan. Aaron, just explain. That's all. What did I say that's wrong? I am confused here. What did I say? That I felt like that was a very fair assessment of both rosters. I didn't say the Buccaneers were going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be as good as people say. They're not. It's not good. It's explosive. They're not going to be as explosive offensively as people think. They're going to rely more on the run than you think. Godwin will not have. I'm not going to say he's going to take a step back, but I don't think his numbers will reflect what he did last year. Number 3 wide receiver in all of football. This offense will not be as explosive. Period. I just don't see that. And besides, Bruce Arians would be a fool if he was going to try and throw the ball as many times as what they did with Jameis Winston. And you're right, Kev, they're behind in a lot of games. So, of course, they were throwing a lot more. I think that this Buccaneers team is going to be very efficient. They're going to control the clock. And when they have leads, they're going to run a lot of that time off. They're going to rely on that run game.
As you should. I mean, you got 2 young running backs. I mean, Tom Brady played his best football when he had a strong running game, taking those shots over the top to Randy Moss. So, I mean, you got to rely on the running game. You got to be smart about it, especially when a quarterback's 40-plus years old. So, like I said before, it all comes down to who's playing better at quarterback. Is it Tom Brady or is it going to be young Baker?
All right. Doug Morgan says Baker is a child in a man's jersey. He also has a stupid face and a mustache. Hey, I have a stupid face and a mustache. Look at this mustache, by the way. That's a killer mustache. Doug, what do you mean Baker's a child in a man's jersey? First of all, everything that people wanted out of Baker Mayfield, he provided this offseason. He shut up. He wasn't, posting pictures with tigers next to the car. He wasn't going out and getting big, stupid chains with the number 9 and showing off his new jewelry like Joe Burrow. No. No. Baker was all about prepping for the upcoming season.
Ron's mad at you, by the way.
Oh, what'd I say?
Ron's on hold right now.
Oh, let's hear. Ron, welcome, Ronnie. How are you, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, Justin, Kevin. How you guys doing? Hey, I'm not going to puff my chest too much because you do the talking on
because you're probably tired from all the puffing of the chest you've been doing.
Well, yeah, I know I dogged your Browns, but I always did. I did. But, I mean, you got to look at this, too. Arians got 1 year. I mean, I know he hadn't had Brady yet, but he's got a year with that coaching staff. Todd Bowles' defense, last 6 games of the year last year, were one of the best defenses in the league. Okay, they don't go around swinging helmets at people. They knock them out. You know what I mean?
Swinging helmets has nothing to do with anything. In fact, you saw just how good Myles Garrett is because Myles Garrett, when you took him off the field, the Browns looked like a completely different defensive team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there. He is a great player. But I'm just saying, Byron Leftwich is a hell of a quarterback coach, too. Okay? And he's on there. Todd Bowles' defense. They're loaded on defense, too. They're not – I mean, you got Devin White, first-round pick last 2 years ago. That guy, he's coming around. I mean, they're gonna shake some heads, man. I mean, and I wish they played Cleveland this year because I would love to call you the next day.
You don't listen. They will play this year, Tom, or they will play this year, Ron.
No, I thought they had a preseason game, but they're not.
No. Listen, Ron, they will play one another. In fact, Tampa will be the home team.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, man. But I just wanted to, I mean, I know I'm bragging and puffing my chest, but
I thought you weren't. Now I'm confused.
just like last year, when the Browns, like the Sports Illustrated, and they were the big team, you were just bragging all up and down about it.
Yeah.
And
I'm bragging now. The Browns are going to win 12 games. I already said it. I gave my prediction months ago.
Stefanski's it's his first year with all that coaching staff.
Okay.
How are they going to gel? Okay.
I've never heard someone say that's their first year with all that coaching staff. Usually people say it's their first year with the quarterback, which you're conveniently trying to avoid. I love how you conveniently say, Bruce Arians is going to be fine because he's had a year with his coaching staff. Well, he hasn't had a year with this quarterback, so let's see how that goes, because that's what we hear from a lot of people. He hasn't got, adjusted to this coaching staff yet.
Okay, well, let's talk about it here. Brady's been to 9 Super Bowls, won 6.
Okay.
Mayfield ain't even seen the playoffs near.
We're really going to compare Baker and Tom Brady. How long has Tom Brady been in the league? Baker's entering year 3, 5th different head coach in the last 6 years. I mean, really, are we really doing that?
I would be surprised if Brady outplayed Baker Mayfield because he'd probably be done here pretty soon. So, I don't know, man. I look for Keenum to lead your team. Not Hayfield.
I don't know why you're so worried about the Browns' backup quarterback. Baker's going to be fine, Ron. You're going to be crying so much, and I cannot wait. And I'm so glad that the season starts next week. It's going to be so bad for you. It's going to be so bad for you.
Like last year, you were talking about, they got all these primetime games. How many they got this year?
Again, doesn't matter. I don't care how many primetime games they have. They're going to have 12 wins, whether they play when the sun's out or not. Got it?
I mean, Buccaneers got 5. Okay. But they got the opening weekend game of the week with the major crew. You know what I mean?
To you? Who's the major crew?
I'm talking about like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
No one gives a buck about that. All right, Ron. We'll talk later. Adios. Audio. That team, that broadcast team looks a little different too. The one on Fox for football looks a little different. They do the NFC games though, but they're good. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Justin Kinner from the Justin Kinner Show, and I wanted to take some time to tell you about my great experiences with CertaPro painters. That's right, my experiences, as in more than one. I've had CertaPro painters complete quite a few painting projects for me over the years, and every time they knock it out of the park, whether it was the Ohio State-themed office with the Buckeye stripe wrapped around the room, or when they painted my entire house before move-in day, I could not believe that they knocked out our entire house in just one day. CertaPro painters knows how to get the job done right, and most importantly, safely during these times. They deliver what they promise. They show up on time. They get the job done right and on budget. Whether it is residential or commercial, interior or exterior, CertaPro painters will take care of you from the first initial free estimate all the way up to the final brush of paint on your project. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business that you can support. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Windy Knoll Golf Club in Springfield is Central Ohio's premier link-style golf course, but it's much more. The Stables, our full-service restaurant, includes outdoor seating and Friday night local entertainment. The Derby Banquet and Conference Center fits up to 150 guests and is the perfect setting for corporate, school, wedding, and family events. You feel like you're at an exclusive private club, but Windy Knoll and all its world-class amenities is open to the public, and everyone is welcome. Visit WindyKnollGolfClub.com for more information.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall product list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
Today, everyone is expecting you to maintain a new level of clean, from customers and employees to students and staff. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. We'll keep you well stocked with cleaning supplies, professionally laundered uniforms, and other essentials like face masks, hand sanitizer, and thermometers. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Not so long ago, lots of things made people happy.
I used to love going to the gym.
I miss saying good morning to my coworkers. Today, there are still things that can make people happy.
Oh, how pretty.
A beautiful bouquet of flowers will definitely make someone happy.
First Florist and Greenhouses can help you make someone happy. Go to firsttheflorist.com, choose a bouquet, and they'll deliver it safely. Make someone happy with First Florist and Greenhouses.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Always get your go-to with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com. Price higher in some locations. Limited time offer. Availability of contactless curbside and delivery areas. Charges and minimums vary. Delivery charge not tipped.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the iconic cleaning formula known around the globe. Try a Simple Green product today, and if you're not 100% satisfied, I'll refund your money. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, actor, cancer survivor, and father of 4. As a dad, there's nothing I wouldn't do to protect my kids from cancer. The human papillomavirus, or HPV, can cause 6 types of cancer. But the HPV vaccine can stop cancer before it starts. Girls and boys should get the vaccine at 11 or 12, and there's a catch-up option for teens and young adults. Ask your child's doctor about the HPV vaccine today.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. college football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Kev Nash stepped out here as we close the show out. As we close things out again, continuing to take your reaction from the ESPN, from the Justin Kinner Show Facebook feed. Again, go follow the show on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show. Give the page a like. Follow along, and again, we'll interact in the chat section. Every time you leave a note, we're able to interact with you that way. So whenever you hate one of my opinions, which happens a lot, you'll be able to tell me exactly what you're feeling. Like, let's go to, like I said, Doug Morgan again on Facebook says Baker's a child in a man's jersey. He has a stupid face and mustache. There you go. That's the kind of stuff that that we can bring into the show as far as that's concerned. Chris Harold, by the way, says I don't think Brady at his age will be able to make it through a complete season. I see him being diagnosed with a bogus injury sometime in the middle of the season. Then they will bring him back fresh for the playoffs. They're definitely going to manage him, Chris, but also I have to admit something. As I started taking a deeper dive into some things during that little last commercial break, I stumbled across a couple things. Tom Brady, like as much as we like to say how last year, like he had an off year, like his numbers are very similar to Jameis Winston's. It's very eerie. The amount of completions they had, the amount of throws they had. Really, obviously the touchdowns separated the two, but not by much. Tom Brady threw 24 touchdowns. It was 30 touchdowns for Jameis Winston last season. Like it's not like it was an overwhelmingly, larger number than Tom Brady. Tom Brady threw 8 interceptions. Jameis Winston threw 30. That's kind of where things kind of got held up. But let's be clear here. I was actually surprised when I took a look at these numbers, and I was like, man, they really had very similar seasons. It's just obviously Jameis Winston led the Buccaneers on more touchdown drives, and he had way more weapons. Tom Brady actually had a very good season last year, considering the fact that he had no weapons. He had Antonio Brown for one game. You had Josh Gordon, who, again, has not been Josh Gordon since the Cleveland days, which, by the way, Josh Gordon, after being suspended for another substance violation, he was signed by the Seahawks today. So I found that interesting as well. But how about this? So last year, Tom Brady completed 373 passes out of 613 for 60.8%. Jameis Winston completed 380 of his passes, 380 of his 626. Jameis Winston only threw the ball 13 more times than Tom Brady. Jameis Winston only completed 7 more passes than Tom Brady did in 2020. That's not that bad. That's really good for Tom Brady, actually, because you're looking at an offense in the Buccaneers that was the most explosive offense in football last year, not the Chiefs, the Buccaneers. And the only thing that kept the Buccaneers back was the 30 interceptions. You just can't have that. Tom Brady threw 8, Jameis Winston threw 30. That's the problem. Now, when you look at total yards, that's where Jameis Winston had a significant job. This is what I mean by the explosiveness of the offense, and that shouldn't surprise you. If Tom Brady had weapons, I think the Patriots offense is just as explosive as the Buccaneers last year. For instance, no Antonio Brown, no Josh Gordon. Tom Brady had no weapons. But yet he completed pretty much the same amount of passes as Jameis Winston a year ago. Tom Brady threw the same amount of passes as Jameis Winston a year ago. Tom Brady completed 60.8 of his passes, actually slightly better than Jameis Winston, who completed 60.7. So, that's the thing. Tom Brady had a very similar year as far as usage is concerned. And you're like, oh, well, no, he's having a down year. Tom Brady doesn't have what he used to have. What are you talking about? If you look at Jameis Winston threw the same amount of passes, completed the same amount of passes, and had 1,000 more passing yards than Tom Brady. Why do you think that is? Jameis Winston led the entire NFL in total passing yards last year, had about 5,100. Tom Brady threw for 4,057 yards. So about 1,100 yards separate the two in total yards. But yet they threw the same amount, completed the same amount, completion percentage is the same. Only 11 more touchdowns for Jameis Winston. Again, Jameis Winston gets the edge in all those numbers because he had weapons. Like you had Godwin, you had a great running game, you had a great offensive line. I mean, Jameis Winston had everything. And we're going to sit here and say Tom Brady had nothing. Tom Brady didn't even have a fraction of the weapons that Jameis Winston did. And Jameis Winston wasted it all with 30 interceptions. So I said earlier, and I'm admitting I'm wrong, I said earlier that, hey, Tom Brady will not be as efficient, or he'll be more efficient in the offense for the Buccaneers, but he won't be more explosive. I'm admitting I was dead wrong. Ron, you'll be happy to hear that. I was dead wrong. Tom Brady didn't slow down last year just because the total yards, or because he didn't throw as many touchdowns. He still threw 24 touchdowns in an offense that had no weapons. One of those touchdowns was, of course, to Antonio Brown in the one and only game that Antonio Brown played for the New England Patriots. Imagine how many more. Be honest here. If Antonio Brown alone finished the season with the Patriots, I promise you, Tom Brady is probably throwing, I mean, he threw 24. I would say if Antonio Brown played a full year with the New England Patriots, that's probably 6 to 7 more touchdowns. And we're talking about Tom Brady throwing for probably another 500 to 600 yards. So I'm going to say if Antonio Brown played last year, the full year for the Patriots, 4,500 yards for Tom Brady, 500 less than Jameis Winston. But he's probably throwing the same amount of touchdowns, anywhere in the range of 31 to 33 touchdowns. And he's also going to throw significantly less interceptions. Obviously, the 30 interceptions to 8. Like Tom Brady last year, you give him a weapon, and we're not disrespecting him the way we have, talking about how he doesn't have it anymore, how he's missed a step. He hasn't missed a step. He was missing talent. And he hasn't even always had the most talent in the National Football League. He's had some great tight ends. He had that, he had a good run, obviously, with Randy Moss. But again, you don't win 6 Super Bowls with no talent. But the rosters have never been sexy. The sexiest roster he had is, of course, when he had Randy Moss. But it's been a long time since he had a weapon like Randy Moss. And he did slightly with Antonio Brown. He's had probably the best tight end in the history of the National Football League. All right? That's the thing. So Tom Brady, I'm admitting I'm wrong. I think the Buccaneers offense is going to be even better than last year. So I'm admitting I'm wrong. As much as I love my Browns, I'm going to say it. The Buccaneers offense is sexier than the Browns. As much as I like the Browns, the 2 tight end set, the 2 of the best running backs in the National Football League. Keep in mind, if Kareem Hunt doesn't get into the trouble off the field, Kareem Hunt, came onto the scene and just he was so impressive with the Chiefs. So impressive. He was instantly a top 5 running back in the league as a rookie. That's how good he was. And then he got in trouble. He got suspended, and we've yet to be able to see him play a full season since. He missed 2 seasons ago. He missed half a season due to suspension. They outright released him. The Browns pick him up in the offseason. Of course, they pick him up, and he has to serve the 8-game suspension, so he only played half of last season. Imagine if Kareem Hunt goes back to what he was 2 years ago, playing a full season along with Nick Chubb. The Browns are just as explosive, but I think that the one thing I do not trust is Baker Mayfield. He is not efficient. That's going to be where we're. And by the way, to compare Baker to Tom Brady is not fair. Tom Brady has been in the league for a few years. Baker Mayfield's entering year 3. That's why I love when people hate Baker Mayfield so much that you want to put expectations on him as if he is in year 8, 9, and 10. He's in year 3, and he already has his 3rd different head coach in the National Football League. The Browns led all the NFL last year in total wide receiver drops. Give me a break. You people are unbelievable. You guys can find it in your heart to defend freaking Andy Dalton. But Baker Mayfield, who has more talent than Andy Dalton, you're going to sit here and bash him. Give me a break. Give me a break. Anyways, you're getting me all fired up. But my point is the Buccaneers are going to be fine. If Tom Brady, again, they don't even have to change anything up. Tom Brady threw the exact same amount of passes as Jameis Winston a year ago. He completed the same amount of passes. They had the same completion percentage. And Tom Brady is going to have the same weapons plus what Jameis Winston had last year. They upgraded talent around Tom Brady. So I expect Tom Brady to throw anywhere in the 46 to 5,000 yard range. Why not? So I was wrong earlier. No, this Bucs offense, they're set. They're set. As much as I like the Saints offense, and by the way, there's a reason. Look, Alvin Kamara, the Saints had no business even entertaining the idea of making him one of the highest paid running backs in the National Football League. They were good enough offensively. He makes them good. He makes them really good. But we all know that offense goes as Drew Brees and Michael Thomas goes. And if you lose Alvin Kamara, there's plenty of other good running backs around the National Football League that you can plug in there, and they're just as explosive. The only reason the Saints, they bailed on the idea of letting him walk or trading him is because look at the Buccaneers. That's in their division. That is in their division. Like, I don't get it. That's why, by the way. Chris Hale says Burrow will own the AFC North in a few years. Chris, I'm curious. Why do you think that? What have you seen from Joe Burrow that makes you think that? Because I've seen more from Baker Mayfield to prove that he has a better chance of dominating the AFC North, right away, more so than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow hasn't done a thing. Hey, those are my rules. Those are yours. Bengals fans, you told me I wasn't allowed to be excited about Baker Mayfield because he hasn't done anything yet. Well, Joe Burrow hasn't done a thing. He hasn't done a thing. The only thing he's done is that he was a former Buckeye, and that's why people love him. Of course, he had a great year at LSU, but again, he's a Heisman winner. Baker was a Heisman winner. How many Heisman? There's a Heisman winner every year. What does that mean? What does that mean? What are you going to do in the NFL? Ron Moreland, Andy Dalton made the playoffs his first 5 seasons. No. The Bengals made the playoffs. Andy Dalton didn't lead them anywhere. Don't give me that, Ron. Come on. Like, no one believes that Dak Prescott leads the Cowboys to the playoffs. That offensive line, run game, the defense, like, teams get to the playoffs sometimes in spite of their quarterback. Andy Dalton was a very good quarterback for the Bengals. I've defended him on many occasions. Andy Dalton made the playoffs in the first five. Baker will be another Johnny Manziel. Well, that's people's favorite go-to. Every time it's going to be another Johnny Manziel. Okay. When Joe Burrow fails, I expect this same energy, people. When he fails, when he struggles like Baker did in year 2, I don't want to hear it. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear me every day. I will be highlighting that every day. I promise you. I will not. You think I'm obnoxious now? Like, if you think I'm obnoxious now without Baker and the Browns doing it, imagine when they start winning and start kicking ass, and all of you Bengals fans are like, oh, Joe Burrow. And when he fails, I cannot wait. I'm pulling for him to succeed. But if he fails, I'm going to be right here waiting for every single one of you. And you better not disappear on me. That's all I got to say. You better face it. You better face it. A little humble pie. All right. Ron says, okay, well, Baker will be another Tim Couch. Okay. Tim Couch. Andy Dalton's more of a Tim Couch. How about that? Chris says that's a tough one to imagine, Justin. Chris, tell me, what is it about Joe Burrow that you think he'll succeed? What in the NFL? You don't know. You don't know anything yet. Just like we didn't know about Baker. We didn't know about Sam Darnold. Everyone was thought for sure. Everyone was, Sam Darnold, for sure. He's going to be the best quarterback. Sam Darnold hasn't done a thing. Baker set the rookie touchdown record. Set the rookie touchdown passing record in his rookie year. We've at least seen glimpses of greatness from Baker. We haven't seen that from Darnold. We haven't even seen a preseason game from Joe Burrow. Oh, but my favorite, we've seen James Rapine and other Bengals writers who are like, oh, man, Joe Burrow just sliced the defense. Oh, you mean the biggest joke of a defense in the history of the NFL? You mean that defense? Oh, but Justin, they spent $50 million this offseason. Yeah, and apparently they spent the money so well that they're projected to win 3 to 4 games. All right, I'm done. Get me off this mic. Oh, we're done here. I'm done. I promise. Folks, thank you, everyone. I hope you had a good day. We're going to do this again tomorrow. I'm excited for tomorrow's high school football matchup, our ESPN Dayton high school football game of the week. Wildcats at Springfield Wildcats at the Centerville Elks. Week 2 high school football. Kickoff at 7 p.m. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and I will be on the call. Looking forward to that. And again, you can head to wingam.com and catch the schedule for that. By the way, we're live here on Facebook and YouTube, ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel every day. So make sure that you go and to wingam.com. You can watch all shows. Where's Kevin? He disappeared on me. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right. It's back on me now here on Facebook. So again, go to wingam.com. You can watch all previous shows. There's select segments. You can watch, again, everything's archived right there. Take advantage of it. Watch ESPN Dayton. You'll see it right there at the top of the page. Ron says, thank you. Great show. Well, thank you very much, Ron. We butt heads, but I appreciate it. Don says, you may not want to hear this, but Baker's another Andy Dalton. Journeyman will play for the Browns for a long time. Don, how does that make? How are you a journeyman if you play for a team for a long time? That doesn't even make sense. Baker's going to be another Andy Dalton journeyman that'll play for the Browns for a long time? What does that even mean? Chris says, now I had a blast. Now go enjoy some golf. Yeah, because that'll calm me down. golfing bad. You think I'm bad at hosting a radio show? Wait till you see me golf. Holy smokes, folks. All right, get me off. Until tomorrow, it's been the Justin Kinner Show on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys. We're at Windy Knoll Golf Club today in